Well, good afternoon. We have a weather impact alert. We've gotten a lot more rain than anticipated for this afternoon, and we have flooding out there. So we're going to have this impact alert all the way through this evening. We have showers, we have heavy downpours, we have flooding occurring right now. Downpours on the highways. It's a pretty, I'd say treacherous in some areas as far as the roads go. It's flooding is occurring out there now. So we have lots of thunderstorm activity, a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings. That's what these orange boxes are. So it's dumping about, it's already dumped 2.5 to 3 inches, and it looks like it's dumping rain at a rate of 1 to 2 plus inches per hour. That is a lot of water, and that water has to go somewhere. I took away the lightning so you could see the radar returns here. And what we have here is that severe thunderstorm warning, high wind gusts. That could knock down trees, that could knock down power lines. Because it's very saturated ground. We've already had rain, a lot of rain over the weekend and through this first week, especially from Columbia all the way down to Augusta. A lot of rain over the last several days. So the green boxes are flood advisories. So what's a flood advisory? A flood advisory is basically nuisance flooding. The water on the roads, water covering the roads, turn around, don't drown, that kind of stuff. But they have elevated this all the way up to a flash flood warning. Now that is the one where you need to take action if you are having flooding in your area. So that is the big one. I always say, there's the watch, there's the advisory, then there's the warning. And here's the warning box, and it's right around Columbia. So that is a lot of rain in a short amount of time. And you can see there's more down here to the south. You can see the severe thunderstorm coming into Edgefield County is producing some pretty good rain. So flooding is absolutely the primary threat as we go through this afternoon into the evening hours. As we look at the situation for the rest of the evening, let's see if it doesn't show much rain. This happens sometimes where it doesn't pick up on certain things like one thunderstorm creating another thunderstorm, and we get what's called outflow boundaries. So did not pick it up very well. It does show the activity lessening or decreasing in intensity as we go through the evenings. But this is one where you need to be careful out there. You need to take action because the flood warning is the one that's could be dangerous. Okay, so life-threatening flash flooding. Like I said, 2 to 3 inches per hour. That's a lot of rain in a short amount of time, and you can see it's this red box, the flood warning. That is, all of the Columbia area. So this is impacting a lot of people there. Anybody in this box needs to make sure they're, have that. Hopefully you already have the plan as far as what to do whenever there's flooding. But as we go through the afternoon and evening, it looks like we're going to get quite a bit more rain shower activity. You can see the thunderstorms there with the lightning bolts. That's quite a bit of rain. We can see some more rain. Like I said, in and around Augusta, there's a severe thunderstorm warning there. That's what these orange boxes are. And of course, we have the severe thunderstorm warning for Columbia too, on top of the flood warning itself. And you can see a lot of shower activity all the way along the coast, pushing up to the northwest, and all of this shower activity, which could be a problem for western parts of the Midlands as we go through the afternoon, pushing off up to the northeast. So this is something that's going to continue through probably the next few hours. You can see some pretty good returns here. You see this little maroon area. That is quite a bit of rain there. These storms are capable of producing up to 2.5 inches, 3 inches per hour. So that's why they issued the flood advisory and the flood warning there. Just one flood warning, but that's the one in the red box here that encompasses a lot of people here. This orange box is severe thunderstorm warning, and you can see these green boxes are the flood advisories. But right now, the primary concern is the flooding in and around Columbia. That's going to continue here as we go through the evening hours. I'd say at least a few hours. Like I said, a lot of times these things can form their own, like we call it training, and that's what we're getting here. So you have these thunderstorms, and there's a lot of cool air above us, the loft they call it, and when it hits the ground, it pushes out in a lot of different areas, and it causes other thunderstorms to dump a lot more rain on there. So that's what we're looking at as we go through the evening. So I think that this, let me show you this one more time, this warning thing, just to kind of, foot stomp the importance of this. There's the flood watch, which means conditions are favorable to see flooding, and then there's the green there. That's a flood advisory. We've had a lot of these over the last week or two. That's the one where, nuisance flooding. Be careful, be alert for streams, especially flood-prone areas. But when you get to that dark red area, flash flood warning, that's the big one. I know I've said before, they probably have too many of these flood advisories, but that red one, that's the one that you have to watch out for, because that's the one that means it is flooding now, or flooding is imminent. We already see cars driving into the water-covered roads, and a couple of motors being stranded. So you need to turn around, don't drown. I've been saying that for 26 years now. Sometimes it takes a lot for people to understand that. So you can see all the shower activity that's continuing. Like I said, we have this severe thunderstorm warning, this orange box. See this rain here. It is dissipating a little bit, but all this activity is pushing up to the northeast, and you can see there's a lot more rain coming into this direction. So you see the red box, you see the flood warning, but as we go through the evening hours, it looks like we're going to get a lot more rain. So that rain has to go somewhere, and it looks like it's flooding in a lot of places. Okay, so we're going to continue to monitor this. We're going to watch this and keep you updated, because this is the one that, you have the flood warning. That's the one where we have a life-threatening situation here. You need to be careful. Now, this flash flood warning goes until 5:30, but judging the radar here, looking at the radar and all of the rain that we see out there, I would say it could go quite a bit longer. They might extend it, which is, how they do that. So we've had reports of flooding. We've seen flooding. We see motorists already stranded in roads in quite a few areas. This rain these showers is putting down 2 to 3 inches more could fall in these areas. And it looks like it's not going to be over here for quite some time. So we're going to keep you updated on here, and we're going to let you know exactly what's going on as we go through the afternoon. So be safe out there. Stay tuned. We will have more. By the way, if you want to see this radar all the time, 24/7, you can see this radar on our streaming channel. We show it, unless we're giving you these live updates. But this is the outlet that we like to use to show you what's going on, so people can get continuous weather coverage. Let's go through this one more time. We look at over at Augusta. These are pretty good rain returns. Like I said, some of them radar indicated, so the radar can see the rain in here, and you see the dark reds and the maroons, and it can see how much, it calculated how much is falling. And the National Weather Service says the expected rainfall rate is 1.5 inches to 2 inches an hour. And between 2.5 and 3.5 inches have already fallen in some areas in and around Columbia. And all of these showers, like as I mentioned here, are pushing up to the northeast. So that's going to come into Edgefield County and probably impact them for a few more hours anyway. But let's take away the lightning again to show you what's going on. There's a lot of lightning strikes there. So of course that's an issue too. Lightning strikes, those are dangerous, of course, but the flooding is the primary concern as we go through here. Now, what about the severe thunderstorm warnings? See these boxes, all these orange boxes, severe thunderstorm warnings. The primary threat there, on top of the flooding, would be, wind speeds gusting upwards of 50, 60 miles per hour. And when you have these saturated grounds, I was talking about it, all weekend long, we had a lot of rain, several inches of rain in some areas from Columbia all the way down to Augusta seemed to be the primary spot for the rain over the weekend and into the beginning of the work week. And we've had rain each afternoon, but this one here is quite a bit different than the last couple of days. So these orange boxes, those are the areas there where you have wind speeds could be in 50, 60 mile per hour. What does that mean? Well, you can see down trees, down power lines, things like that. But flooding, once again, I want to say flooding is the primary concern as we go through this afternoon. So one more time, we have weather impact alert. It goes through this evening. We're just going to leave it open-ended because we'll see how long these thunderstorms last. They could last quite a while. Downpours, flooding. I was driving into work a little earlier this afternoon, and you can see quite a bit of water on the roadways. The drainage systems just can't handle it. It probably could be better, but it just can't handle all of this water. And a lot of people were driving very slowly, and I saw, I think, 3 accidents on the way in here on I-77 southbound. Anyway, the rain's going to continue as we go through the afternoon into the evening hours, and you can see all of this rain. There's a lot of moisture in the air. I've been talking about these dew points, and what they have been the last few days. It's been humid out there. I mean, you just walk outside, you could feel that. And you can see these dew point temperatures in the low to mid 70s. That's a lot of moisture to work with, and it needs a trigger. And the trigger is the sunshine we saw this morning that heats the ground. And I think there's also a little bit of an atmospheric disturbance above us. That combination is what can produce this amount of rain. But I mean, you can see how potent that can be whenever you just get sunshine in the morning, and that causes the lift to create these thunderstorms, but it can create quite a few of them. And I was saying earlier, these can feed off of each other. All that cool air just drops to the ground. You get what we call outflow boundaries, and it creates another thunderstorm next to it. And then what you get is what we call training, which is you see a lot of rain in the same area over and over and over. And we have seen already quite a few incidents where motorists are trying to drive across that water-covered road, and a few of them have been stranded. So, let's take a look at this a little bit more without the lightning on there so you can see the radar returns. This is a lot of rain, and you can see all the area, the orange area there, that's going to be impacted as we go through this afternoon into the evening hours. So, the primary concern, once again, is the flooding. I mean, these are pretty good returns. You don't see the pink or a lot of the dark maroon in there, but you see some pretty good radar returns that are producing quite a bit of rain. And it just seems like it's targeting, the whole Columbia metro area. This goes all the way out across the area, and it's impacting quite a few people. And you can see more rain showers down here to the southwest that are going to kind of move into the area as we go through this afternoon into the evening hours. So we'll leave that weather impact alert open-ended for that. So started to see this last night on like I said, the late model run. It showed it, but it didn't show quite this much. And that happens sometimes. Sometimes the models aren't perfect, and you can get this in. Even the Storm Prediction Center did not have us in an area where we could have the possibility or likelihood even of severe thunderstorms. But they changed that this morning, and they put that severe thunderstorm in the marginal category. It was the lowest category, but still, a chance to see rain. And this isn't over. It looks like we're going to see more rain as we go through the week. And, how about looking forward? Tomorrow, there's a chance for rain again. And I don't think it'll be this intense, this much rainfall, but this is the wet sponge. So the ground is very saturated, and it's like a wet sponge. When it gets filled, water runs off of it, and you get these flood warnings. So, tomorrow, 40% chance for rain. It wouldn't take much to trigger more flooding. So we got to be on alert all the way through, at least tomorrow. The chances for rain, they do go down as we go into the weekend. We're just looking at some summertime showers expected each afternoon. But today, the flooding obviously is occurring there. Now, I want to go over this one more time. We'll look at the radar, and then we'll go over what this means whenever they say flood warning. They issued this, by the way, at 2:47 p.m., and it goes until 5:30. But, of course, they are analyzing the situation and looking at the radar. We have a lot of radar tools here. We can see quite a bit, but the Weather Service can pick up a lot more. There's a lot of algorithms in there that figure out the rain rates, that figure out if there's hail, what the wind speeds are. They can see that a little bit better than we can. What are the green boxes? The green boxes are flood advisories, which is the lowest one on the list. But let's go over this again, because I've talked about this quite a few times. But this is the Weather Service's. I worked with the Weather Service for 8 years. Okay, so they thought that there was some confusion about, what is a flood watch, what is a flood advisory, and a warning. And so they decided to issue another one. It was called a flash flood emergency. Now, the green box is to the left. That's what the green boxes are on the map. That's flood advisory, nuisance flooding, just some flooding that, flood-prone areas. It's a big deal. You got to be careful. But the flood warning, the flash flood warning, what's the difference between a flood warning and a flash flood warning? Flood warning is like it takes a long time. It could take days for a river to exceed its banks, and you can kind of see it coming. But a flash flood warning means It's quick. You're getting dumped on like an inch, 2 inches per hour, and you're seeing flooding right away. It's imminent or it's happening right now. So that's the difference in there, and that's what we have right now, that maroon box. We don't have the pink one. That's like the worst one. That's the one they added. But you can see the entire area is covered with flood advisories, a flood warning, and a severe thunderstorm warning. Okay, I'm going to have more on this, but let's talk to Christy about what she has over there.
Chevy, I just want to go ahead and break down a couple of things that we're seeing, especially when it comes to power outages. So I got this big screen here behind me. We got the 4 main power companies, and we're going to go ahead and break down what we're seeing as far as power outages. We're also going to show you some video of what we're seeing right now with our crews who are out and about in the field. Here is the big issues that we are seeing right now. It comes with Dominion Energy. If you are a Dominion Energy customer, well, about 6,853 customers right now without power. You can see right here, directly in the middle, about 37 different homes in and around downtown Columbia are really affected. You keep on zooming in. You can even see the exact Midlands areas, how many people are without power, and then go very specific again right in downtown Columbia, about 24 outages, but in total in this area, 722 people going in towards the Irmo area, 333 over in this area, in the Red Bank area, down over to Gadsden, Forest Acres, and even goes down on in here. Hopkins is one thing that we are also watching. This one is under evaluation with more than 187 customers without power in and around. This is also a big tool that we have also been following to see exactly how many people are without power right now. Again, the biggest chunk of people still right here in South Carolina, 6,853 people, customers right now without power. But again, breaking it all down to the majority right here in downtown Columbia. Let's go ahead and just show you really quickly this map. This is the electric cooperative here of South Carolina. This in and around this area, the green, just to kind of give you a little bit more of the colors here, the green area is about 1 to 99 customers or homes really without power. And then this red area is over in the Aiken County area, again, 142 meters without power. But let's go ahead and take a good look here in Richland County. So if you're a customer in the electric cooperative here, about 33 meters are without power. It also goes a little bit more in depth about the Fairfield Electric Cooperative, Mid-Carolina. We'll get to that one in just a second. And the Tri-County Electric Cooperative as well. Just kind of breaking it all down here. Orangeburg County, again, if you are a customer in and around here, 59 meters without power. Fairfield County, only 2. Kershaw County, about 12. But again, the biggest one that we are seeing, Saluda County, 21. Biggest one we're seeing, Lexington County, 190 meters are without power right now. Mid-Carolina Electric Cooperative, 175. Let's go ahead and show you those numbers from Mid-Carolina. Right now, this number has been going on. Right as Chevy was on the air, that number went from 136 to now 206 people without power in and around this area. This map is a little bit harder to pinpoint, but you can just see in and around here, and you can see kind of in that Red Bank area where that little red is. Those are the exact areas where they are without power. So you can see about 42 in this area, 18 in this area, 70 in this area, 16 in this area. Again, this map doesn't really show as much, of course, compared to Duke or Dominion Energy, but you can see mostly in and around the Lexington County area. This is where the people who have this electric company are without power. Let's go ahead and really quickly show you Duke Energy. Duke Energy pretty much does the same thing. We're at right now 152 meters without power. This is the area that they are focusing on right now. You can see even getting closer, 150 customers here. This one's a bit harder to adjust here. Let me go ahead and try to get in and around our area here. Let me back up as we're continuing to do the current outages in and around this area. There we go. So going a little bit closer to where we are. There we go. See, we have in and around this area, Columbia, it's a little bit more out towards here because not a lot of people have that Duke Energy in and around here. But this is the main numbers that we're seeing. Let me go ahead and refresh this. Maybe we can get a little bit more updates on these numbers. Here's the good news. As I was talking, we went from 6,800 something customers. They were Dominion Energy, now down to 6,017 customers without power. when it comes to Dominion Energy. I want to go ahead and pop up some video that we were able to see and capture just a little bit ago at News 19's Kiki Gushu. Let's go ahead and take a good look here on your screen. Well, I'm going to go ahead and pop on over to my desk to show a little bit about where those outages are, and then also a little bit more of those road closures. Yeah, as I said, I just stepped out of the way there to kind of show you that. And then here's a look at that radar there. Alrighty, so according to the University of South Carolina Police, we are talking about inclement weather. They just posted on their social media pages areas to avoid. Now, I had the opportunity to talk to Melron Kelly over with the Columbia Police Department. We'll get to that interview in just a second. Let's go ahead and talk about those areas to avoid right now. These are a lot of areas that mostly are very flood prone. So this is normal spots that flood when we have a lot of rain at a short amount of time. They include the intersection of Main and Whaley Streets, the parking lots behind 300 Main Street, parking lots behind the Blatt PE Center, Sumter Street under the railroad bridge, Pickens Street under the pedestrian crossing, and as well as 5 points in and around that area as well. Again, they are continuing to caution that area. Again, the following streets, according to the city of Columbia, they are prone to flooding during heavy rain events. So again, these are the following areas that they are asking people to avoid. We have a list of this also. We're getting on it on our website, WLTX.com. But again, this is Main and Whaley, Wheat and Amherst, Hardin and Reed, Hardin and Calhoun, Franklin and Marion, Franklin and Sumter. You see where I'm going here, right? In the downtown Columbia area. Blossom and Henderson, Blossom and Saluda, Hardin and Santee, Wheat and Sumter, Wheat and Pickens, Hayward and Ravenel, Barnwell and Pendleton, Two Notch and Reed. These are places known to be flood prone. Actual, of course, flooding depends on a storm strength, duration, and location. They also want to quickly remind everyone, according to the city of Columbia, if you do encounter a flooded street or an intersection, turn around. We cannot stress this enough. You want to go ahead and turn around. Do not attempt to drive through it. Water may be deeper than it appears and can hide many hazards. Let's go ahead and show you Whaley Street right now, bring you the very latest over in downtown Columbia. Again, as I mentioned, this is a flood prone area, and this is an area that frequently floods when we have a lot of this rain. This entire time we have been on the air. You can even hear the rain that is in and around here, and take a look at that live look and that camera as the rain is coming down. And that, my friends, is a great example of what you do not want to be driving in. Great example as they're moving that camera. Look at that sign. That is the sign right on over there. And look how low it is to where the water starts. So just please be careful if you're in and around this area. Stay away from storm damage areas, to include damaged or downed trees, power lines, to keep from putting yourself at risk of the effects of severe thunderstorms. I did have the opportunity to speak with Melron Kelly over with the Columbia Police Department. We're going to get to my interview with him in just a little bit, but he did tell me as of right now he is not seeing any type of issues with the wind, any lightning right now. It is the rain. They have patrols out and around in that area. They said anywhere that the water may be deeper, it appears that it can hide. So just making sure that if a vehicle is caught in swiftly moving water, be swept away in a matter of seconds. So take a listen to my interview with Melron Kelly, a little bit about what we're seeing right now and what his officers are doing to protect us.
Definitely. So we've been monitoring the weather pretty much all day through our emergency operations center. And once we were alerted that the system was coming through, we kind of prepped at our known flood prone areas. And those include Main and Whaley, as well as Hardin and Blossom Streets. And as expected, those have flooded out. The water levels are very high. So those roadways are temporarily closed. It followed by Hilton and Blossom Street and Lawrence Street as well, closer to the 5 Points area. So as those water levels recede, those roadways will open back. We're just closing Pendleton and Pickens Street now. I just got an alert while I was talking to you that we're having to close that and Hardin and Divine. So we anticipate that they will be closed up to 2 hours as we wait on the water levels to recede. We don't have any accidents reported pursuant to the water right now, but we'll keep an eye on it for the follow-up until the evening time.
Is the one thing that we're really looking at right now is flooding waters? Are we seeing those high winds right now, or any damage or lightning strikes, anything that you're seeing there, or is it just the flooding?
Just the flooding for us right now. Again, no accidents that happen due to the weather. Winds are not causing us a problem right now in the downtown area. We're just we have officers staged at certain intersections, keeping an eye on the water levels. We want our drivers to really avoid those low-lying areas, those flood-prone areas. Don't drive into standing water. It may not look like it's deep, but we ask that they avoid those areas right now.
What is your, have you been seeing? So I think it sounds like a lot of people heeded that warning, heard that alert, saw that alert kind of on their phones and kind of got out of the roads right now. Is that pretty much the best advice right now? Or if somebody is about to be on the road, should they pull over or just get to like maybe a safer area at this point?
Definitely pull over if you see standing water, or if you see some existing barricades or emergency vehicles in the roadway. Avoid those areas. But your low-lying areas of Columbia, near 5 Points, USC, University Hills area, those are kind of our lower-lying areas of the city. They typically flood most often. Hardin and Gervais is another one. Don't avoid those areas if you can. If you need to take Gervais Street corridor, I would definitely take Taylor Street to Forest Drive, areas like that. And we are, again, the Columbia Fire Department is our primary resource for helping folks out if they get in flooded vehicles and things of that nature. So I'll be speaking with them to kind of coordinate our response if that happens.
Okay, so as of right now, you said about 2 hours in those kind of mostly flood-prone areas. But regardless, because this rain is still coming down, just for people to avoid that area, at least for the time being?
Exactly.
Okay. Anything else that we need to know or anything else that you want the public to know?
Just stay off the roadway if you don't absolutely have to travel for right now. Definitely to the core of downtown. We do have some evening events around the city, but I would just avoid them for right now until we get the all clear and open the roadways back up. And of course, you can check our social media. We'll spread the word to our media partners as well.
All right, you just heard from my interview there with Deputy Chief Melron Kelly with the Columbia Police Department there. We want to go ahead and give you a look out there on the roads. You just heard it from him. If you do not have to go out there on the roads right now, he advises that you either pull over or get to somewhere in a safe area. This is a live look at I-77 South. This is at mile marker 2. Here's the biggest thing right now. The rain is still coming down at 3:31 this afternoon. It's been coming down for a bit right now. Please, if you can, take it slow out there on the roadways. One thing that we are always in fear of there too, if you're going so fast, hydroplaning is very common in and around this time of the day during this time of storm. So you want to make sure that you have a distance between you and the person in front of you and even behind you, just making sure that you're being courteous. But yeah, Chevy, I'm going to send this back on over to you because we are just seeing this constant rain coming down. We can even hear it right here on our roofs here at WLTX. But yeah, this is just something that we are seeing in and around kind of the Richland County, Lexington County area. My question to you is there an end in sight? Will this be coming down in just a little bit?
It looks like it's going to go through the evening hours, Christy. Yeah. And, you know, I driving into work, it was like a few hours ago, people used their hazard lights so you could see. Visibility is an issue. I mean, this rain is, you know, so heavy that even the high thing on the wipers is not really working. So we're talking about flooding, the flash flooding, which means flooding is occurring right now. So heavy downpours, moderate rain, and especially flood-prone areas. But you know, we're seeing flooding all over the place there. Now you can see that orange box. They just put a severe thunderstorm warning around the whole metro area, all of Columbia for sure. And you can see all these radar returns. I took the lightning off there so you can see the intensity of these radar returns. And it's not the worst. I mean, it's in there in the orange. But we have seen it going up into the maroon. Now, we haven't seen the pink, and what does that mean? Well, usually when you see pink on the radar, our radar anyway, it's indicative of some hail out there. So severe thunderstorm warning threats. All this orange box is high wind gusts. We could see wind gusts 58 plus. That's what the Doppler radar is indicating right now. And putting down quite a bit of rain. Flooding is the primary concern, but winds, especially with these saturated grounds. I mean, we had a lot of rain over the weekend. We've had a lot of rain in certain areas over the last few days. So I keep saying, you know, it's a wet sponge, the ground, and it gets full. And what happens when you pour water on a wet sponge? It runs off, and that's when you run into this flash flood warning. They got all these different alerts, 6 of them. We have the flood advisory, which means, ponding on roads and nuisance flooding, things like that. Just to kind of, it's above the watch. Watch means conditions are favorable for it. Now, when you get to the flash flood warning, that means, oh boy, we have quick flooding. Now, there's a flash flood warning and there's a flood warning. A flood warning is kind of a slow flooding. A river is gradually rising and then spilling over its banks, and it might take several hours or even a couple of days, and it's coming. A flash flood warning is the wet sponge thing, where the water's running off fast. It's collecting in a lot of areas, low-lying areas, and it's running off, and it's dangerous. Like we said, Christy was saying, people driving across water-covered roads is the biggest concern. I've said it for many years in my career, but people still do it. They got big trucks, whatever, think they can do it. But these are really good radar returns up into the red there. And you can see we have not just this flood warning, we also have one in and around Augusta, and there's more rain down to the south and southwest. These are pretty good, all along Garner's Ferry Road, it seems like it's targeting the Columbia area, but you can go up there, Rembert, all the way up to I-20, along I-20, you can see all these radar returns are pretty good, and it's probably causing visibility issues. We have more rain down there in Georgia, and there's a flood warning there that was issued moments ago, and you can see more rain coming into the picture in the southwest part of the Midlands. Now, here's the thing. We have the moisture in place, 70 to 76. That is a lot of water vapor in the air. And we had sunshine this morning. And, I always say, more sunshine in the morning, that means you get a better chance for showers and thunderstorms. And today, we got even more than what the radar was indicating, or what the models were indicating last night. This happens sometimes, and sometimes these thunderstorms could feed off of each other and create more thunderstorms and dump a lot of rain in a short amount of time in the same area. And that's exactly what's going on right now in and around all of Columbia. See the orange box there? That is a severe thunderstorm warning. They just issued it for the whole area there. So that means the primary concern out of that would be the wind speeds, 58, 60 plus miles an hour. And saturated grounds, you can blow trees over, which knocks power lines out. Christy was talking about giving you updates on that. We have also these green boxes. Those are the flood advisory areas. It's just flooding. All week, that's what we've been saying. Hey, flooding is the primary concern. And it's going to be a concern as we go into the weekend. And that's what you're seeing here with these radar returns. Now, sorry, I went back too many times. Let's take a look at the other radar returns, and you can see we have the red box. The red box is a flood warning. And so you can see we have our power flickering, a generator turning on. So power outages, even we have some power outages, but we have an emergency generator, so we will not be off the air. You can see all this stretching from, even Gilbert all the way up through Lexington and, Red Bank, Irmo, Columbia getting quite a bit of rain. These are pretty good returns. Up into the dark red, which you can see the legend at the top of the screen, it's not the worst, but it's still a lot of rain. How much rain did we get? We've already seen areas get over 3 inches of rain, and guess what? These showers and thunderstorms, look at this. These are putting down 1 to 2 plus inches per hour. Those are pretty good rain rates. You can see a little sign of dissipation there. Notice how it's all dark red, and then it kind of just falls apart down into the more green. But all the way through Hopkins, Eastover, it doesn't go stretch quite as far east as Sumter, but Rembert, all along I-20, or at least up to the northeast, you can see some pretty good shower activity and more coming. You notice this line of showers and thunderstorms is going to push right over the interstate. And, this is commute time. So this is the time we don't want to see all of this rain when a lot of people are out on the roads. I was saying, I came in earlier, there was a lot of ponding on the road. I was hitting the water buffaloes. I don't know exactly what the term is, but you know what I mean. You get hydroplaning, and people are using their hazard lights, which I like. That's a good idea. It shows visibility. But the rain was falling so heavy that even the highest speed of the wipers wasn't giving me great visibility. So that's another concern. And Christy was saying, and they were saying, law enforcement, if you don't have to be on the road, don't be on the road right now. I know a lot of people do because it's the commute. All right, so tomorrow we're going to see more rain. So the chances for rain does decrease. We're going to need a break. You're never going to get down to zero as far as, 0% chance because it's the summertime. We have a lot of moisture in the air. It's very humid. But the only trigger is the sunshine in the morning. You get sunny skies in the morning that beats on the surface, that creates lift, and guess what? We have showers and thunderstorms through the afternoon. And more than we anticipated. This is quite a bit more. You can see all the lightning strikes. So many lightning strikes that it's covering up my radar returns on here, so I'll take those away. The orange box, you can see all of the area here, from Summit over to Eastover, all of Columbia, some pretty good rain showers. And this is continuing. It's actually getting a little bit worse with some pretty good rain rates. Weather Service, like I said, the radar can see a lot. Best invention ever, right? In the 80s, you can see movement in the storms. You can see wind speeds. You can see hail, how big the hail is, where it's falling. Hail is not a problem. I haven't seen any reports of large hail. The winds are the problem. So flooding, number one. High wind speed, number two. 58-mile-per-hour wind can knock a tree down easily and knock power lines down. Now you have these green boxes underneath there too. That is the flood advisories. But the red box, the flood warning, that's the flash flood warning, okay? And I talked about the difference. Flood warning is a slow, easy, gradual flooding, and then the flash flood warning is a quick flooding, which can be very dangerous, and people driving across the roads. Here we go. There, so you got the flood advisory. It's above a flood watch, but there's flooding going on, but it's not. It's just be alert. But the flash flood warning is the one that can be very, very dangerous as we go through the afternoon. I can hear the rain. I don't need the radar to hear the rain rates increasing on the roof there. So you can see one more time, look at the radar. We have that flood warning too around Augusta, but this one right here, and more to come. It doesn't look like it's ending. Like I said, these create other showers and thunderstorms, and it just keeps going. It's called training, and it's a lot of rain over the same area, and that's what we have, Christy.
Break a little bit more down about what we've been seeing in and around the area, and then I'll probably bring you back in. Maybe we'll do a little bit of a Q&A in just a little bit, because I have a couple of questions about how this storm forms and why it's really happening. So we'll get back to you in just a little bit on that. But first, I really want to go ahead and show everybody. We've been saying this all the time. You even heard it from Deputy Chief Melron Kelly with the Columbia Police Department. What should you do if you come near a flooded area? Please remember, 6 inches of moving water can sweep you off your feet and cause your vehicle to lose control or even stall. We talk about it, even hydroplaning. If the water reaches just 1 foot, your car can float. At 2 feet, flash floods can carry most cars away. So as always, we keep on saying it that you want to not drive through standing water. Again, you see that phrase right there, turn around, don't drown. And that is a great example that you see right there on your screen about how quickly it can sweep up a vehicle. Just 1 foot deep, a car can float, and then 2 feet deep, it can literally carry your vehicle away. So just making sure that you are staying safe in and around this area. We want to go ahead and give you the very latest as we are continuing to follow the very big flood-prone areas. I understand we have News 19's Kiki Gushu has been in and around Whaley Street just a little bit ago. And again, we were hearing that is a very flood.
I'm here at the corner of Main Street and Whaley Street, where there is some serious flash flooding. The city of Columbia and the University of South Carolina are asking drivers to stay away from this area.
I was going to say,
this is an area that usually floods, but it is looking very bad today. Drivers, be careful out there. I will be here and be bringing you more updates as this storm continues.
Appreciate you out there. We want to go ahead and now give you a live look in and around this area. And you can already see that you can see the Columbia Police Department vehicles out there blocking that road. And boy, is that rain coming down. And you can see how dangerous that is. Even on the left-hand side of your screen, that was a sidewalk. Yeah, you can't even see the sidewalk in that area. And this is just part of a parking lot in that area. Rocky Branch at Whaley Street right here in Columbia. Again, this is a very flood prone area. So just you can see they are currently blocking that road. And this just gives you an example of how quickly this rain has come and how slow this rain is moving out of our area. Even while Chevy was on the air, we lost power, but don't worry, our generator kicked in. So we are also seeing this. Look at this. I'm going to stop right there. Look at that. Let's go ahead and take that full. Look at all of that rain and look at all of that flooding on in there. It is even difficult to see the road right here, folks. This is an example of Deputy Chief Melron Kelly was saying earlier about how much rain is in that road, and you cannot even see the lines on that street. So again, this is why they have this area closed right now to people. I want to go ahead and also give you a little bit more about, as we are also kicking in our generator here at WLTX, we're continuing to follow those flood-prone roads, and we're going to try to get that up on our website. Again, it's on WLTX.com right there on our homepage. If we can go ahead and get that up on our screen. But I want to go ahead and break down just a couple of other roads that the police departments and the sheriff's departments just want you to avoid in and around this area. But first, before we get to that, right there on our Facebook page, we are asking you all a question. We want to see what you are seeing right now in and around this area. If you are seeing flooding, if you are seeing a lot of rain in there, just making sure, if you can, stay safe. And if you can take any photos or comment on anything that you are seeing right now, we would appreciate it. Right now, we have Cindy saying it's been storming here in Lexington for more than 2 hours. I say we've got enough rain for today. Braxton saying train tracks in Elgin have been shut down for more than 2 hours. Traffic in and around there is crazy. Crystal Lee sending in and around some pictures and videos by Rosewood near George Rogers, in and around that area as well. We want to see where you are seeing a lot of this rain. If you can safely send any pictures to us, again, you can. That is right there on the WLTX Facebook page as well. Again, this is now the second time that our generator has kicked in here at WLTX, but don't worry, we are continuing to bring you the most up-to-date forecast as we're continuing to follow this weather as it still continues to come down here, especially at our station, which is off of Garner's Ferry Road. Again, city officials are also issuing this advisory today, warning drivers, as we've been mentioning, to stay safe from those roads known to flooding during heavy rains and immediately afterwards. So here are just a couple of streets that we want to go ahead and put on your radar. What we're going to do right now is try to get it. If you go on our homepage, WLTX.com, and if you click on the first article right there on our website, you will be able to see a list of all of those roads that I'm about to say to you. So while we can work on that to pop that up for you, right there on your screen, Main Street and Whaley Street, Gervais, Lawrence, Blossom, Henderson, Blossom and Saluda, Hardin and Santee, Monroe and Maple, Two Notch Road and Reed, Wheat Street and Amherst Street. Again, you can see this is a lot of these areas over in Richland County. Most of them are in the downtown Columbia area as well. Franklin Street, Marion Street, as well as Sumter, Columbia College Drive, North Main Street, Bull Street, and Laurel Street. A lot of these areas here. Officials also encouraging motorists, just plan an alternative route. Use extra caution while you are traveling during this storm. Or according to Deputy Chief Melron Kelly, if you can avoid driving right now, he suggests you do so. Or if you are driving and you are seeing that standing water, it is the best thing to do right now is to turn around, and then also, if you can, just get off the roads into somewhere safer. And also just saying that if you see any type of downed trees or power lines, I'm going to get to the power outages in just a second. I'm going to walk on over there to give you an up-to-date on those power outages in and around the Midlands area. And we can see if there was an update. Last time we talked about it was about 6,000 people with Dominion Energy without power. So we'll get to that numbers in just a little bit. But again, a lot, according to Melron Kelly, we were really seeing a lot of the flooding, which is impacting drivers. Well, we are not seeing, as of right now, any type of storm damage, nothing with the wind as of right now. But of course, we're going to continue to follow that and bring you the most up-to-date information as we can. Let's go ahead and take that Doppler radar full while I go ahead and take a walk on over to the Storyteller on over here. This is kind of our area where I can actually show you and do a touch screen of exactly live through every single one of the main power companies that we have in and around the Midlands. Let's go ahead and give you a up-to-date number as far as our power outages today. Here was the big one I was just mentioning a couple of minutes ago over with Dominion Energy. Last time we checked, there was about 6,017 people without power. Unfortunately, we are now back to 6,800 customers that are without power in and around Dominion Energy. Again, most of it, as you can see, right on in this area, mostly in the downtown Columbia area and in the Lexington County area as well. Getting a little bit closer, you can see right here, there are about 12 incidents right here in the downtown, right by Forest Acres. And it goes a little bit closer in here, but I just want to show you this number. Right here, if you could see, 2,483 customers alone in the Forest Acres area are currently without power. Going in by St. Andrews and around here, about 498 people without power. Just below Irmo, 139. Going in here, right before South Congaree in the Casey area, we have about 205 people without power. But again, this kind of gives you a little bit more up to date. And this is just me refreshing it right now. Still, 6,895 customers are without power. This is from Dominion Energy. Another closer look here at the electric cooperative here of South Carolina. A little bit more people in the green, a little bit more counties over in the green. This is also new for us today. Last time we did this outage map, the only areas that were in green was over in Aiken County. So now, according to the electric cooperative, we can report that more than 100 people, you can see 314 meters are without power. This is in Lexington County. So you can see now this is starting to get into the yellow meter, and this is not the only one on over here to Newberry County now popping up. If you are part of the electric cooperative here, 179 meters are without power. This is a Newberry Electric Cooperative. Again, 179 meters there. So this number is going up as well. So it looks like so far both Dominion Energy and the Electric Cooperative have been going up as far as the power outages numbers as we are continuing to track this storm as well. Going a little bit more into the Mid-Carolina as we go ahead and just give you this up-to-date numbers on in here. We could see last time I talked to you, 206. We are now up to 366 outages in and around the Mid-Carolina Electric Cooperative here. Again, a little bit closer when you go into this map in particular. Again, this is right on in here in Lexington County. This also gives you exactly where they are seeing these outages. Big one in here, about 42 people without power, 70, 16, and 6 in and around this area. And then kind of dragging on out again, this is all mostly in like the Lexington County area there. And then really quickly, we'll go into Duke Energy. Let me go ahead and just refresh that, giving you the most up-to-date numbers. Well, that number has definitely popped up as well, but not a lot of people in and around the Midlands area right here in Columbia. Mostly use Duke Energy, as you can see on in here, but also in the Lugoff area, about 151. Let me go ahead and click on in there. Again, this is pretty much the biggest area that they're seeing without power right now, kind of in this Kershaw County, Camden area, Lugoff area, Elgin, kind of in and around that area. That's where we're seeing the most people without power. Down over in Santee, Ellery. Oh, just doesn't really look on in there. Again, this is only one customer without power, not bad. But yeah, this is just kind of the updates that we've been seeing. Mostly right now, we are seeing a lot more people who are going to be in and around that power outages. Let's go ahead and show you those road conditions right on over right now. Go ahead and do and just give you a look right now at these road conditions. Let me show you right now. You can barely see the roads out there. Live look at I-77 southbound, mile marker 13.8. Yeah, a lot of rain coming down there. It is very dangerous out there. Again, we still see a lot of cars out there on the road, but not as many as we would normally see at almost 4 o'clock in the afternoon, especially on a day here. It looks like we have looks like we have Chief Aubrey Jenkins calling in right now to the studio there. Hey, Chief, how are you? Thank you so much for calling in to us here on WLTX Plus, sir.
Yes, how are you?
Good, good. All right, so I have you right here with our viewers. Chief, can you just kind of break down a little bit what you guys are seeing right now out there on the roads? Any flood-prone areas that we need to know about?
Yeah, so actually, matter of fact, as we speaking, we just had one come in off of Rosewood Drive that we're responding to right now. We had a flood area out there at Catawba Circle, down there off of Hugo Street area. Also, Amherst and Wheat Street, there was a flooded area. We also, our normal flooded area, which is at Whaley and Maine, but also in the Beltline area, closer to Two Nuts Road in that area. So we're just seeing, just flooding all over the place. Not really all over the place, but especially in the Beltline. Normally we don't get flooding over there, but we did get it today.
Is this a lot of areas that we normally see, these flood-prone areas? I know you mentioned a couple of them, but are some of those areas that we don't normally see flooding, but especially today we're seeing a lot of flooding?
Yeah, I think that would be one that we normally don't see. Would be in the Beltline area. That has several cars stuck over there, and also in the Wayland, Maine. We always get flooding over there, but also Amherst and Wheat, we're flooding over there as well, which we normally don't see. So, yeah, we get it probably in a few different places now.
Chief, do you see any issues as far as, are we seeing this hydroplane? Are we seeing vehicles that are currently stuck? And then are we also seeing any type of home damage as of now, or is it mostly just the flooding?
Well, I think we got some leaks in some roofs around the city. I'm not sure exactly which one we're dealing with, but I do know we're getting reports of leaks, people roofs leaking.
Oh, okay.
We did get a report of a lightning striking a person, but we had not been able to. I have not been able to confirm that, but it did come in as a lightning strike on a person. We're trying to nail that down.
Okay, and we'll definitely follow up with you when it comes to that as well. Really, Chief, what is your advice right now at this point? Are we seeing a lot of people heeding these warnings, staying off these roads at this point, or what is your advice to our viewers here today?
I think the biggest thing is you don't need to be out because, the rain was coming down pretty hard, but it not only does it hamper your visibility to drive, but you don't know if you run through a puddle of water, you don't know how deep it is. And you always got to remember the acronym, turn around, don't drown, because you can't judge how deep that water is. And just because it's not deep don't mean you can't get stuck in it. So we advise people, if you really don't need to be on the road when these storms come through, please stay off the road.
And then your biggest takeaway, right now, how long do we kind of expect these flooded roads to be pretty much stuck at this point? Or are we expecting this to just take a while as the water rescinds?
I don't think normally when we get a rain come through like this, I don't think that it floods very long, because as long as the water's coming down, as you know, it's going to gather. But once the rain stops, then hopefully it'll kind of taper off and the roads will clear up pretty quick. That's what we're hoping as well.
Well, we appreciate you really taking the time to speak to us here this afternoon. We know you and your team are incredibly busy making sure that we are staying safe out there, especially on the roads. So we really do appreciate your time and giving us this update today, sir.
No problem at all. Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely, of course. And so you also heard with Chief Jenkins there's a lot of hydroplaning in and around our area. So again, a big reminder, you want to turn around, don't drown, but also if you are out there on the roads, you really want to take it slow. A live look again over I-77 southbound, mile marker 13.8. And again, this is just an area which normally would have a lot more people out there at almost 4 o'clock in the afternoon. But again, here's some good news. People are heeding those warnings. And especially you can see those big rig trucks there on the right-hand side of your screen, just taking their time and being slow in and around this area. I want to see if we can get on over to our weather team, if that's any possibility here, as we're continuing to follow the very latest on that. But again, the really big thing that we want to continue to tell everybody is, again, you want to do turn around, don't drown. Take a look at that graphic. 6 inches deep, you can lose control. A car can stall. 1 foot deep, a car can float. 2 feet can carry away most vehicles there. So again, you just want to make sure that you are staying safe in and around. It looks like our generator has actually kicked in for a 3rd time now. You can hear that noise on in there here in our studio. But yeah, Chevy, you said that this rain is pretty much in and around this area here. But again, we want to go ahead and talk about the hydroplaning. Of course, with everything that we are seeing, of course, you just want to see if you are already on the road. We do want to remind you how to stay safe. Driving on slick roads first. Again, you want to slow down. Water mixes with oil on the roads, reducing tire traction. So if you go too fast, you could hydroplane, and that's when your tires lift off the road on a thin film of water. Again, no one wants that. So if your chance of avoiding it is greater than you're going 35 miles per hour or slower. Also, you want to increase how much room you have between you and the car in front of you. It takes a lot longer to stop on wet pavement, so you need more space between cars to avoid a wreck. And finally, make sure that you are avoiding sharp turns and sudden braking. That is an easy way to lose control on those slick roads. And then we want to go ahead and show you some video over of some lightning. News 19's Kiki Gushu is working on getting up that video. I know she's in and around Whaley Street, so we'll get to her in just a little bit. But again, you can even see on our radar right there. There's that lightning. You can hear the thunder in and around, again, downtown Columbia. So just making sure that you are staying safe. If you do not have to be outside, you already heard from Chief Jenkins and Chief Kelly, Deputy Chief Kelly, just making sure that you are staying safe. If you do not have to be out, if you do not have to drive, we suggest you do not do that. Here's another look that some of our crew members were able to get of severe and flash flooding in and around the Gervais Street Bridge. You can see that heavy rain coming down. Now, if you can do this safely, and if you can send us this video, we would appreciate it. However, if you are driving, do not send us this video. Please concentrate and be out there on the roads. It looks like this was a passenger who was taking this video, so we appreciate that. But if you can always send us any pictures and video of this, all of this heavy rain, you can always do so. We have a Facebook post right there on our website as well, WLTX.com. You can also see all of those flood-prone areas. Let's go ahead and continue to follow the very latest there on the Doppler radar. Again, you can see kind of those heavy rains. That lightning is still very common in here. And let's go ahead and send this on over. We have Chief Meteorologist Chevy Chevalier. Chevy, go ahead and bring us up to speed about what we're seeing right now and when kind of all of this might subdue, at least just for a little bit.
Actually, it's getting a little bit worse in some areas, but you can see this line of showers. Christy, you know, he was talking about along I-20 and 2-notch. Those are pretty good rains. This is dissipating a little bit. That's good to see. But these showers that created this flood warning down around Augusta, you can see they're starting to some heavier rain is coming and some thunderstorms. Now, I took the lightning off so you can see the radar returns, but this is a new severe thunderstorm warning because all of these sort of flared up. Now, what happens here is, you know, you have the sunshine in the morning to create the storms, and there's probably a little bit of upper level disturbance, but these showers, you know, the rain falls, hits the ground, and cool air goes out in every direction, and then it causes, you know, more thunderstorms to form. That's probably what it is. It's called outflow boundaries. It creates its own little cold fronts to get some showers in there. There's what we were talking about earlier. You can go all along I-20, pretty good rain. But notice how it's going from maroon to orange is dissipating as it pushes up to the north. And we have more coming. I mean, it just seems to keep coming here from Augusta up there. Now, we were talking about this yesterday. From Columbia all the way down in and around Augusta, that whole area there got a lot of rain over the weekend. I think it was Saturday where the rain just, you know, was training. It kept falling there. So they have very saturated grounds. And guess what? That's where most of this rain is falling, all along I-20 up into the Columbia region. Now, you have these green boxes. Those are flood advisories. So that's nuisance flooding, the ponding on the roads, which could be a serious problem. With the hydroplaning and such that Christy was talking about. But then as you get over to, you know, I-26 there, Newberry down to Saluda, Edgefield County got that severe thunderstorm warning. This is new, and you can see those showers. What causes severe thunderstorm warning? Well, a 1-inch hail or greater, and, you know, or 58-mile-an-hour gusts plus. So it's the winds. It's not the hail. If there were hail out there, it would be in the pink. You'd see some pink returns there. We're not seeing that, which is good. We don't want hail to add to this problem. But the winds can be a big problem because it can knock down trees. You know, I keep saying it's the wet sponge. You know, all the water comes off it. and it soaks the ground and then it just runs off. And then we have flash flooding, and that's why we have these flood warnings. So all around Columbia, you have the flood warning. Lexington and Richland County. You also have this one down here in Aiken County that's a flood warning. These both go till 6:15, and you know, it's hard to say. That's 2 hours and 15 minutes away, but they probably will extend that. It looks like these showers are going to be with us for a little while. They keep creating more. This is the flood advisory. You know, this is the 6 tiers of flood alerts. You know, I'm not a big fan, but a flood watch means conditions are favorable to see flooding. Then there's the flood advisory, the green one. That means there's nuisance flooding, there's ponding on the roads, there's small streams and creeks could be overflowing their banks. It could be life-threatening, but it's a lower threat. Then you have the flood warning, which is one where it's slow flooding. Rivers rise for several hours, even days, slow flooding in areas because, you know, rivers are exceeding their banks. Then there's the flash flood warning. That's the one that we have. That one means that flash flooding is occurring right now, or it's imminent, and it's occurring as we go through there because we showed you some of that video. That's the most dangerous. It's not the most dangerous on their list here. They have one called a flash flood emergency. They added a few years ago. At least it's not that. That's when you have catastrophic, you know, injuries and property damage. But we're in the flash flood is enough. You know, okay. So this goes through this evening, obviously, until all these alerts from the Weather Service go away and the rain goes away. But downpours, heavy, moderate to heavy at times. And driving, of course, it's 4 o'clock. It's commute time. So you got to watch out, especially if you're in a flood-prone area. So what do you need? Don't drive on these. I know you keep saying it, we keep saying it, but people do it. We've already seen several people stranded because they try to drive across these water-covered roads. Make sure you have a way to get these alerts. Watch us on this Plus here, and you can also get a weather radio, which alerts you. It's battery operated, so the power isn't a problem. Or you can use your phone to get these alerts. They've been going out on that. Stay away from the down power lines. You know, you see, watch out for trees and fallen limbs on the roads. And just be careful. Just stay out of the flood weather in any manner, walking, driving, whatever. They added this a couple hours ago, the Storm Prediction Center, or this morning anyway. So this was the threat that kind of I saw it last night around midnight with the latest model run that it looked like there would be some more rain, but not this much. So they added this marginal category for severe thunderstorms. And as I said, the primary issue there would be the wind speeds, 58 mile per hour or more. Let's take a look around. You can see drops on the cameras. Columbia, the showers. Newberry, some off in the distance there. Sumter's kind of out of this for now. But, you know, they could see some showers later. So we have showers at the airport. We did have thunderstorms. There are signs that the shower activity, and I'll show you that here in a second on the radar, the shower activity is dissipating, at least for central parts of the Midlands. You can see off in the distance, Sumter there. They have some light rain showers, but the dew point temperature in the 70s. So we have a lot of moisture to work with. We're going to continue to see showers and thunderstorms, rain, heavy at times, and flooding. That is the primary concern as we go through the evening hours. So there's a wider look. You can see more showers in Georgia. So these keep coming up moving to the northeast. You have some showers down to the south. You see what I say about dissipating. Watch some of the lightning bolts as it goes through Orangeburg go away there. You can see another severe thunderstorm warning just issued. That's why it's flashing there. You can see the red box, that is the flash flood warning. So that's not the highest, but it's next to highest on the tier for National Weather Service flood alerts. You can see more going to some more green. That's good. We want this to fall apart. But this just started getting a little more intense on the radar, as you can see. This whole area, you know, this is a good, they just issued this. This just popped in there, flood advisory, right? So flood advisory along this whole area, and I kept talking about this all week, and the Weather Service was talking about it too, from Columbia all the way down to Augusta. This whole area, exactly where they highlighted that flood advisory, had a lot of rain over the weekend, and it looks like they're getting more and more. And this just popped up a few minutes ago, and you can see those are pretty good rains. Saluda coming up into Newberry. Newberry's going to get more rain, showers, and thunderstorms. Of course, lightning is an issue too. But the flooding is the one that we really want to watch out for. Notice how, as we go through, you know, the last 15, 30 minutes, how those returns are going from orange to red to green. That's a good sign. But then you see over here where these are going from green to orange to maroon, so that's not good. So these look like they're going to be with us for a while, and like I said, they create thunderstorms. All the cold air comes down, the rain comes down, and it pushes out in all directions. Not a microburst, not that strong, but just that action in the atmosphere pushes out, and it makes little cold fronts to go out in all directions, and that could cause more lift in addition to the lift that we saw from the sunshine this morning. And there's probably some kind of upper level disturbance mixed in there too. Watch is a watch. Conditions are favorable. One more time. Conditions are favorable for flooding. No watches now. We have the actual flood advisories. That's in between a watch and a flood warning. And you can see a warning is seek higher ground. If you're in flood-prone areas and you see the water, you need to make sure that you're staying alert and watching this, getting these updates. Flood warning until, I think it actually until 6:15 p.m. You can see that flood advisory they just issued. It goes from Lexington all the way down through Aiken County. That's where most of the shower activity is right now. And you can see that red box. That's the one. That's the flood warning. And I took away the severe thunderstorm warning. You know, it gets to a point in the Weather Service too with your graphics where you have one that'll be on top of another and you can't see it. So this is all severe thunderstorm warning too, but I had to take it away so you could see what's going on underneath it. And you can see those flood advisories, flood warnings, flood advisories over top of flood warnings. So flooding, that's the main issue. So you can see as we go through the last half hour, look at this over here from Edgefield up to Saluda and soon to be Newberry. That one popped up pretty quick. So that's probably, you notice, you can see that's probably some outflow, what we call outflow boundaries, where a little cold front creates more thunderstorm activity. And, it's not like it's over. There's more down there to the southwest, and that's a pretty good shower and thunderstorm. We have some others out here, too. Ashwood over to Florence, all along I-20. Of course, people are traveling over there. You notice a little bit of good here as this goes from orange to green, and the intensity of the rain showers drops down a bit. But this may even trigger a flood warning. That would be a pretty big flood warning if it did. Like I said, a lot of rain over the weekend there, and we're looking at 2 to 3 inches in some areas that has already fallen, and we could see 1 to 2 inch plus per hour. That's a lot of rain to take in a short amount of time, and that's why they have the flood advisories and they have the flood warnings. It looks like they expanded it a bit. It goes till 6:15, but it's 4:10 right now. It'll probably be extended if these showers keep up. Notice how you see that I showed you the bigger view, but the close up there, how the returns go a little bit from maroon down to green. And then the bigger picture here, you can see showers starting to be created all along I-20, some dissipation in this area, but then more rain and showers and thunderstorms off to the west. So this is going to be with us through the evening. These are pretty good rain showers. There's Garner's Ferry Road, has some really good rain, but notice how it's kind of dropping away. That's good. That's what we want to see. Same thing here, from Columbia all the way up along 261 up to Interstate 20. All those showers dissipating. That's what we want to see. Then they had another flood warning that's in and around Augusta up into Aiken County. And just a few minutes ago, they added this flood advisory, that whole area there. The moisture, there's a lot of moisture in the air. These are going down. It was 75, 78. It's going down. Why? Because the water vapor in the air, this is a measure of the water vapor in the air. The sunshine this morning and the disturbances creating this is sucking the water vapor out of the air and creating the rain. So these are going to go down, but still 70, 72 dew point. That is a lot of water vapor in the air. Now, the thing tomorrow is it won't take much to trigger more showers. We're going to have another active afternoon, I think, tomorrow. And then it gets better this weekend, just some summertime afternoon, evening showers and thunderstorms as we go through the weekend. It looks like we get a little bit of a break. I love to see the rain. It can be a great thing, right? But not so great when you get too much of it, of course. So as we go through this evening, especially with the commute, that, of course, it's not good timing for that. So what are we expecting for this weather impact alert? And we'll keep it open-ended. It looks like we're going to have this weather impact alert until the threat of flooding and all that goes away. Rain heavy at times, I was saying earlier, it looks like, I think the Weather Service, the radar can see how much rain is falling and calculate it, right? And it said, I think it was 2 to 3 inches in some areas has fallen, with rain rates inch to 2+ inches per hour. That's a lot of rain. So flooding is the main issue. We also have some severe thunderstorm warnings, so we want to pay attention to that. Why? Because the wind is the primary concern there. You have saturated ground, you get trees knocked down with 58+ mile-an-hour winds. It's easy to knock down a tree, and those hit power lines, and then you have a lot of power outages. You can see they issued another severe thunderstorm warning there, and then we have this one over here that was issued earlier. But they were able to take down the one that was in the central part of the Midlands, because notice how the rain shower activity dissipated and a lot of the lightning went away. So that's good. The problem area now is this whole area that keeps getting more and more rain. They issued that flood advisory, and it looks like the whole western part of the Midlands, including Newberry, Saluda, Edgefield County, down through Aiken. This is a pretty big concern too. Notice how this goes from green to maroon rather fast. I don't see any pink on here, so that's good. That's usually indicative of some hail. We haven't had I don't think we've had any major reports of hail, so that's good. At least we don't have to deal with that. But shower activity, it keeps falling. This is all green. That's good. That's good. But the rain just keeps falling in the areas that we don't want it to. We need to get a break as soon as we can. So this is the kind of the outlook across the Midlands. What's going on? They just issued this flood advisory. Remember, that's the one where there's ponding on the roads, nuisance flooding, creeks and stuff exceeding their banks. Like I keep saying, this is where a lot of rain fell this past weekend, very saturated ground. And then we have a chance for more showers tomorrow afternoon. Now, it's not showing this intense as far as the shower activity tomorrow afternoon, which is good. But this one, a lot more than the models. This happens. Sometimes this happens where the model doesn't pick up something. And obviously this morning, even late last night, it started to pick up on something, and then it kept getting more and more intense until we had this to deal with. So you can see the red, that's the flood warning. These go till 6:15, and the green boxes are, we have flood advisories on top of flood warnings, but the red area is the one where, hey, you need to take action only from Lexington to all across Lexington, Richland County there. Those areas are the primary target for this flash flooding. But notice how it gets better as we go over the last 15 or 30 minutes. And then as you look over to the west, you can see some showers there right along that corridor, I-20, right along commute time, and more down to the south. So we're hoping all of this, you get to a point sometimes where you take all the energy out of the atmosphere and you don't have much to work with to create thunderstorms. And I hope that's what's happening here. It's looking pretty good as far as Columbia goes and central Midlands. But now we got to start looking at this and see how serious that's going to get, because those rain showers have some pretty good returns on there. And I was saying earlier, at least in Columbia, the radar was saying 2 to 3 inches falling, 1 to 2+ per hour possible. And they still have that flood warning down there around Augusta. So you notice how it kind of falls apart as we go through the last 30 minutes or so. Same thing here. You can see how quick it does it too. I mean, look at that. That was like over an hour, 45 minutes, something like that. It kind of went away. And we want to see that with these too, but these might feed off each other for a while. And there's all the moisture in the air that we have to work with as we go through this evening. So not over yet. We're going to keep it open-ended because these could last a few, maybe even several more hours as we go through this evening. And then we look at tomorrow. We have a chance for some showers. I got it at 40%. I'm going to take another look at the model runs and see what it says for tomorrow. But this sponge is very wet now. The ground is very saturated, so it wouldn't take much tomorrow afternoon and evening to trigger some more showers or trigger some more flooding as we go through there. The good news is it does get a little bit better this weekend. I think I was planning on bumping these down to 20%, and those are just afternoon, evening showers, maybe a thunderstorm. But I think that's the threat is still there. It doesn't take much with saturated ground to cause some isolated flooding. But today, and we'll see how tomorrow goes, you got to be on your toes as far as that goes as we go into the weekend. All right, do we have more, Christy? Okay, let's see what Christy has, some updates on a lot of things. Christy?
Yeah, hey there, Chevy. I'm actually right now joined with meteorologist Brianna Mowry. We're going to do just a quick little Q&A. We want to break down a little bit about what we're kind of seeing out there on the roads and really just your best advice as you're continuing to follow this radar. So really quickly for our viewers, how long is this flash flooding at this point expected to take effect?
Flash flooding is ongoing right now in areas of downtown Columbia. I'm not sure.
Yep, I can hear you.
Downtown Columbia, and that flash flood warning there's a couple of flash flood warnings in place, or actually 3 of them. So if you're in the Rosewood area, downtown area, Dentsville, if you're in that southeastern or eastern part of Columbia, that one goes until 5:30. That one also is in parts of northern Columbia as well. Here's a look at some of that flooding we're seeing in parts of these areas. This is on Rosewood, and this is also looks like a store on Rosewood. So definitely some flooding taking place in these areas. You'll want to get to higher ground, just to get away from the water if you can. If you're driving, maybe hold off on taking that trip if you don't have to be on the roadways. If you're in Irmo, West Columbia, Lexington, South Congaree, that flash flood warning will go until 6:15. So that one goes on until just a little bit later. But looking at radar, the good thing is it looks like that heaviest of the rainfall has tapered off. So we are seeing most of that rainfall moving away for the Columbia area, but the concern kind of shifts now towards areas in the western part of the Midlands. So we're looking at areas in Newberry County, Saluda County, Newberry and Saluda, Batesburg, Leesville, Ridge Spring. Lots of heavy rainfall for those areas now. So that's becoming more of the I mean, obviously the Columbia area is still a concern where those active warnings are, but we could see more flooding in these areas. So definitely if you're going to be driving in parts of really anywhere in the Midlands, especially along and north of I-20, that's where the heaviest of the rainfall is taking place.
Now, I want to go ahead and try to get a look at that radar because I know you currently have it on the phone. We also have it in our News 19 weather app as well. So you can get that live radar right now on your phone and track it just as we are tracking it as well. But as we work on getting on that radar, I saw a lot of lightning in that forecast, and there is a lot of rain on that radar. So is it going to be ending anytime soon? It seems like it's a very slow-moving storm.
They are very slow-moving, and that's why we have all the flooding taking place, because when the storms form, they're kind of sitting over the same area, and they're not moving along, and so it's dumping all that rainfall over the same spots, and that's why we have these flooding concerns and flash flood warnings out there tonight. And again, the most of that rainfall is kind of shifting to the north. So the southern Midlands is actually pretty dry right now. And we have a new line kind of forming in the western Midlands. So that's the areas, again, Newberry, Saluda, Batesburg, Leesville. You'll want to be kind of on guard because we could see more flooding in these areas now that the rain has kind of shifted to those areas. Still active warnings in Columbia, but the rainfall is tapering off in the Columbia area. So definitely good news for folks in those areas.
Yeah, it's good news to hear. Ah, there we go. Okay, so here's the radar. This is what we're looking at right now. So, Brianna, you were kind of mentioning at this point, you see all of that lightning and the Columbia area, it's going to subside for a little bit. But again, remind our viewers what's going to be kind of that area for a little bit of some caution because as the storm moves up, where are we going to be seeing?
Right now, the latest flood advisory is right along the I-20 corridor through Aiken County, Lexington County. So that's the area if you're along I-20 in Lexington County, all the way up into Columbia, I would be kind of staying aware, paying attention, because if anyone's going to get a flash flood warning next, it would be those areas in the western Midlands where that next line of showers is forming, where most of that lightning is. And all that lightning is kind of indicative of it strengthening a little bit. So also something there, and the stronger a storm gets, the heavier the rainfall can be. So definitely keeping a lookout for that lightning as well. Also, to be outside in a thunderstorm is just dangerous. People get struck by lightning, and we've definitely seen that before in this area. We're hearing thunder here right now over our studios. So definitely lots of lightning in these storms. So in addition to the flood threat, you have a lot of lightning, and that can cause power outages, trees to come down if it gets struck by lightning. And we have a severe thunderstorm warning right now for Saluda and Newberry County. So now you have to take into consideration the wind in these storms could also bring down trees, damaging wind gusts. So that's several concerns out there this evening, really all across the Midlands. But if you are in the southern half of the Midlands, that's like, kind of south of I-20, you're getting a little break right now. So you can take a little breath if you're in the southern Midlands. If you're in the northern Midlands, I-20 north, I would still kind of be on guard a little bit.
Yeah, one thing that we were also noticing is that we were asking, hey, it's 4:22 in the afternoon. It's also a Thursday. A lot of people are probably still in the office, packing up their things, thinking about heading out there on the road. We were just talking about your husband, my fiance. All right, so how are we doing it? Hey, really quickly, if you don't have to get on the road, don't yet. But of course, if somebody is driving right now or he even is considering getting on the roads, what are you kind of hearing right now? What's your advice out there?
Right, definitely take it slow if you need to be on the roadways. First, visibility is lower. There's water on the roadways. There's a live look right now. You can see it's really hard to see out there. And then if you're in a lot of cars, you have the mist coming off of those cars. That makes it a lot worse as well, especially if you get behind a bigger vehicle like a truck. So all those things to consider if you're driving, especially where the flash flood warnings are all around the downtown Columbia area. Really, it would be, honestly, it wouldn't hurt to hold back a little bit and maybe take an extra 20, 30 minutes before heading home. I know people don't want to stay at work longer, but it never hurts to be extra careful. Even if you don't run into flooding, at least you know that you won't at all if you stay back a little bit for a little bit more time. But again, if you're going to be on the roadways, if you have to be, just take your time and do not drive through flooded roadways. We can't say that enough, and we still see people do it. So never drive through a barricade, around a barricade, never go in the water. You cannot see how deep that water is. And if you think you've got a big enough truck, it can still float away very easily. It only takes a few inches of water to carry that vehicle, and you might not have time to get out. So just stay away from, here's a good explainer. Yeah, 6 inches, you can lose control of your car. It can stall. And then if it stalls, you can't get out of it. So 1 inch or 1 foot of water, that car can begin to float. And this is when it gets carried away. And then by 2 feet, it can carry away most vehicles, even the big trucks that a lot of people think can make it through that water. We've definitely seen some stalled vehicles. We've already seen them out there today across Columbia, and even on Whaley Street especially, a car was stranded there. I know we've had several other areas with stranded cars. So definitely it may seem like it's going to slow you down, but you'd rather get slowed down than get stuck in that flood water. We also have on I-26 East, we have a crash that could be related to that rainfall. Traffic's definitely slow there as well. We can see some rain falling on that traffic camera. If we can, there we go, get a look at the traffic camera. Traffic looks like it's stopped in this area. So definitely something going on there. 2 left lanes are closed, and this was just coming in around 4:22, so just a couple minutes ago. So this may cause some slowdowns in addition to the weather if you're traveling on I-26 East near exit 125.
Yeah, this is on Old Sandy Run Road. You can also see pretty much a backup there. Very, very slow moving traffic. So this slow moving traffic, this crash, 2 left lane closed on top of this rain. I mean, this is something that people just either just need to be put on their radar, literally, but also at the same time try to avoid and not go out at this point.
Right. I know we're getting close to that evening commute time. A lot of people are getting off work, but if you are not at work or don't have to be out on those roadways, or if you don't have to be in a rush to get home tonight, just don't do it. I mean, there's a lot of flooding going on in the Midlands right now, so it's best to just play it safe.
Now, let me ask you, have we been seeing some more heavy downpours in recent years compared to this one? What have we been seeing as far as our outlook?
I wouldn't say this year has more than others, but we are in the middle of summertime. And summertime is when you get those heavy downpours, and sometimes they don't move. And that's what we're seeing out there today. When you get really humid afternoons and really hot afternoons, you combine that heat and humidity, that's what really triggers these showers and storms, and that's exactly what we've seen today. And it's those summertime showers and storms. Sometimes they don't move, sometimes they stay more isolated, but today we've seen some outflow boundaries, which kind of triggers more storms to form, and that can lead to sort of a training effect where it's one storm after the other, or the same storm kind of just continues to expand and grow and build on itself. And now we have widespread showers and storms out there because of multiple outflow boundaries and sort of things kind of not want to move out.
Okay, and so when it comes to this pattern, is it expected to continue throughout this weekend or just into this week? What are we kind of seeing as far as continuing the rest of the week?
Still rainfall chances into tomorrow. That chance is a little bit lower than today, but we've gotten so much rainfall today. Flooding will be a concern again tomorrow because it's not going to take a whole lot of rainfall on top of what we've seen out there today to cause more flooding tomorrow. So it's going to be a little easier for things to flood, especially where we have those flash flood warnings out now. And then looking ahead to the weekend, those rain chances continue to go back down, but we could still see some isolated showers and storms as we head into the next several days. But this weekend, things look to be a little bit better. So definitely it's some good news for the weekend. But we are still keeping an eye on it as we've had a lot of flooding today, and that could make things a little bit more easier to flood over the next couple of days.
What we want to do right now is send things on over to News 19's Ariana Clay. She's over in Calhoun County with the very latest on these weather conditions. Ariana.
Ariana Clay with WLTX in the Calhoun County area, and I just want to show you guys a look at one of the sidewalks by the County Council office. I mean, you can see the rain was light, but it's enough that now that it's completely covering my hand. So that's what we're seeing. Of course, we're hearing a little bit of lightning, but nothing too much, I'm sure, is compared to other parts of Columbia.
And let's go ahead and kind of show you that video on over in Rosewood. We have Brianna Mowry. She's going to go over to our weather set, so no worries. We are going to get the very latest on that radar and that forecast. We want to go ahead and show you that severe flash wet flooding, that severe weather on in and around this area. Again, we just showed you this one, but we want to show you again to talk about the severity on all there. That's on over on Rosewood. We also want to go ahead and show you there on over in Gervais Street as well. We're continuing to follow that. That's over by the Gervais Street Bridge. You could see how heavy that rain was coming down. This was just a little bit earlier today. Again, if you can send us this video, we would appreciate it. But again, if you are driving, please do not send that. If anything, it needs to be a passenger. We cannot stress this enough. You do not want to be on your phone while you are driving in and around the Midlands, especially with all of this. But again, we're also even seeing traffic backups again, as we just saw on I-26 eastbound there, right by the old Sandy Run Road. We saw those 2 lanes of traffic that is currently being blocked as we're following that crash, and we're going to give you the as well. And there you go. You can see that live look there. I-26 eastbound, mile marker 125. You can see it looks like there's at least 1 stalled, if not 2 stalled vehicles there on the right-hand side of the road. That is currently blocked to traffic. And if you look closely, you can see what is causing that backup there. It looks like there is a truck involved with a vehicle there in and around on the left-hand side of that interstate. So if this is part of your evening commute, make sure that you are just taking it slow. Find an alternative route that is not flooded. You can get a full list of those areas that are flooded right now on our website, WLTX.com. Let's go ahead and send things back on over to meteorologist Brianna Mowry for a quick check of that radar again. Brianna, we're continuing to follow the very latest when it comes to the lightning strikes, and we see that very much, and we're continuing to follow that. So what are we seeing right now, Brianna?
Out there right now, several rainfall areas of heavy rainfall across the Midlands. Right now, the concern is more in the western Midlands, Newberry, Saluda counties. We are going to continue to see that flash flood warning in effect for Columbia until 6:15 for most areas there. We're also going to send things over to Chevy Chevalier for another quick look at some of these weather alerts in the Midlands.
Thank you, Brianna. All right, let's take a look at what's going on right now with the satellite and radar. Quite a busy afternoon and evening. So what happened last night after our 11 o'clock, it was more like 1 o'clock, the models started showing a chance for some moderate to heavy rain across the area for us. And it got to the point where, last night it was, I'd say early this morning, it was showing a little bit more. This happens sometimes, especially during the summertime. So we got quite a bit more than was anticipated, and we didn't have any products like the Storm Prediction Center puts out products to show where there's a potential for severe weather, and they didn't have any for our area, but they added it this morning, and the Weather Service started seeing this too. This all started to come together this morning, and you saw the sunshine, and that that creates even more issues. Now, the problem areas, we do have the flood warning for Columbia, in and around Columbia. We have one all the way over to the west. We have the severe thunderstorm warning is the orange box. What's the issue there? Winds, 58-mile-per-hour winds or higher. I don't see much hail on here on the radar returns. You would see some pink or some higher dark maroon. I don't really see that, but we do have moderate to heavy rain. You can see all the rain showers there. Coming into Newberry, you're starting to get that. Now, they just extended this flood warning to go from Columbia all the way over through Saluda County. So all the way down to Augusta, they got that flood advisory. That's the green box. Remember, there's no watch because we're into the actual weather, right? So the wash means conditions are favorable for whatever it is, tornado or severe thunderstorm or, flooding in this case. And a flooding means it's happening or it's imminent, okay? So this is a flash flood warning too, not just a flood warning. A flood warning is one where it's gradual. Rivers and streams are gradually rising, takes several hours, maybe days, and then it starts to flood. It's more of a gradual flooding process. Flash flood warning means, what do we have? We have very saturated ground. Once again, the wet sponge, and you got heavy rain falling on that, and it's running off in all directions. And that's why you have a flash flood warning. And that's the one where you need to take action. What action? I mean, if you're in a flood-prone area and you see flooding, you need to move to higher ground. You need to stay off the roads if you can, because those, hydroplaning, ponding, we certainly have that. We have flooded out roads too, where people, we've seen a few to several already trying to drive across the road and they're getting stranded. All right, so looks like, why is that flashing? They're updating the product right now. So as we go through this afternoon, you can see the good news is, let's say the east half of the Midlands, it's all just light rain right now, light to maybe some moderate rain. All the thunderstorm activity has kind of dissipated. That's fantastic. Sometimes you get to the point where you just don't have any more energy in the atmosphere to create these showers and thunderstorms, but we still have this area to go through. And I love that they issued this, I don't love it, it's not a good thing, but I like they issued this flood advisory from Columbia to Augusta, because they got a lot of rain this past weekend, and we had some more rain the last couple of evenings and afternoons. And what is that? You just get more saturated ground and you get more runoff as you go through with the heavy rain showers. You can see all the red. That's the flood warning. That's a lot of people impacted. Richland, Lexington, now over into Saluda County. This is pretty serious stuff. Now, you see it's falling apart. You see the rain showers dissipating, which is terrific, and hopefully we don't see any more. But right now we're looking at, out to the west, but you see some showers and thunderstorms here pushing out and kind of dissipating. But these just seem to keep on coming. So that's why they added that flood warning. Brianna, do you know when that flood warning goes to? It probably goes till later. Yeah, she's looking at 7:30. So 7:30 for this one here, this red one. So, as we go through the evening, they're going to look at things like this rain is dissipating. I say they, it's the Weather Service, dissipating. But you say, hey, the heavy rain stopped. Why do we still have a flood warning? It takes a while for that water to go where it's going to go, especially it goes down into the rivers and creeks and everything. It's got to go away. And then it takes a while for all that flooding, the roadways and everything to, slowly go down. But I would say the concern now, I would say the east half of the Midlands is looking much better, but now we still have to worry about this. Look at this, Newberry down to Saluda, all the way down through Aiken County. You have pretty good showers and a couple of thunderstorms intermixed in there too. You don't see the orange boxes. I had to take them off because there's so many watches and warnings that overlap each other. Now, we look at how much water vapor is in the air, and it's been, earlier it was like 74 to 77 dew point. That's a lot of water vapor in the air. Now you see it lowering because these showers and thunderstorms are kind of ringing out of the atmosphere, and you're taking the water vapor out of it. But still, 70 dew point is a lot of moisture in the air. 40% chance for showers tomorrow afternoon. So another round of showers and thunderstorms. Now, right now, the models are looking about the same as the models did for today. So we'll be on alert, obviously, to see if we don't expect this to happen again tomorrow. But there's a chance for showers and rain. It doesn't take much tomorrow, because we're going to be very saturated after all this rain goes away as we go through this evening and into tomorrow. So let's go over this one more time. I'm going to talk about the flood. Let's see. What are we going to do? We're going to talk about the flood warning itself. That's the one. Hey, flood warning. That's the one you need to take action for, right? So we're, advising people. So are law enforcement to stay off the roads if you can, if you don't need to go anywhere. But of course, it's 4:36, so people are trying to get home from work, and that's kind of unavoidable, right? Unless you stay at work until this dissipates. So till 6:15, you have those showers in there's that flood warning, and you can see there's another one down there around Aiken, and then that whole green area. Yeah, this is the area I keep talking about that got a lot of rain over the last few weeks. It started on the weekend when they got quite a bit of rain. So this one here, they just added it, that one for Saluda County. That's going to go till 7:30, I believe. So they'll keep extending these on a need to basis. 6:15, we'll see. They can drop them too before they get the expiration time if it gets better. They're watching that. What is the weather service watching? Of course, they're watching the amount of rain that's falling from the radar, but they're also watching. There's a very good. The USGS has a very good network of monitors for rivers and streams and all that. And there's actually algorithms that figure out when the flooding threat kind of goes away. So we talked about this before. Flood advisory is the green area. Flood watch is below that. So you got flood watch, then you have flood advisory. I know they don't put them in the same order, but flood watch means conditions are favorable. Flood advisory, the green means that there is flooding. It's not catastrophic flooding. It can be dangerous. You need to watch out and be careful. A bigger heads up, right? Then you have the flash flood warning, and that's what we have right now in those red boxes. And that's the one that's the most dangerous. So you need to make sure that you have that plan. I mean, you should already have the plan when then there's flooding, especially if you've had flooding in the past. So this goes through this evening, this weather impact alert. Downpours, floods, thunderstorms with high wind gusts. We've already seen that. And just keep alert. Either we're on the air like we are now telling you what's going on, or you can watch the radar on this streaming thing. It's 24/7, so you can do that at all times. Okay, so what's the need? Brianna put this together. This is great. Don't drive or walk through flooded areas. Stay away from them. Stay away from down power lines. Make sure you know how to get the weather warnings. These cell phone technologies dramatically improve the network and getting out those warnings. Weather radio, I know it's kind of an old antiquated thing, but it is battery operated. It still works perfectly. Got a lot of towers out there to let you know what's going on. Like I said, I mean, they're like $20. You have to pay for them, but a lot of it goes through your cell phone, which is good, right? And of course, you can watch us. We always have it, and you can look on our app, and the app. And our website has all this information. Now, what happened? Well, yesterday, this wasn't here. This is a Storm Prediction Center product, severe, where they look and see where over the country, the whole country, where are we going to see severe weather? Large hail or, high wind gusts. They didn't have this. They added this morning, I believe. So this all just came together with the models last night, late last night, after the 11. I mean, last night I was saying 50% chance for rain. And that's what the models were saying, but then it started to increase during the overnight hours, and this happens. Fortunately, it doesn't happen very often. What are my concerns? Not tornadoes, but rain, of course. Heavy, moderate rain, flooding. That's the big one. I haven't really looked into hail, but it doesn't look like there's many hail reports, which is good. But damaging winds out of those severe thunderstorms is a concern. There's the rain showers we were talking about at Newberry. That's pretty good rain there. Columbia drying up a bit, looking better, right? You can see Sumter hasn't really had much of this, which is terrific. That's what we don't want to, we want as few people as possible to be included in this situation. There's a good look at Newberry and the showers that they are seeing right now. That's quite a bit of rain there. And as we go through the tips or the headlines, what we're talking about over the next several hours, this is going to continue through the evening hours. Some of it's dissipating in a lot of areas, which is terrific, but rain heavy at times with the flooding, the primary concern. And that's the one where we're seeing, some flood warnings until later on this evening. You got flood advisories too, flooding. I mean, how many times have I said flooding over the last hour and a half? Probably 1,000. But you can see the rain showers here on a bigger view. Severe thunderstorm warning up to the north. You can see all the lightning involved there. You didn't see the lightning a few minutes ago because I took it away. There's so much lightning, you can't see the radar returns. And they got a severe thunderstorm here over in Saluda County. So more rain to the south and more rain pushing up to the northeast. Got some showers here. These are kind of light to moderate. That's better than what we had earlier. Look at all that. Dissipated. Right as it's like I-20 was a boundary, and it started dissipating quickly after that. There we go. The flood warnings underneath here. All the green boxes underneath, especially this big one here. That from Lexington, Richland, down through Aiken County. That is a flood advisory. Make it to a flood warning. We'll see. These are pretty good. These are pretty heavy rain showers here, and you can see it goes all the way over to Saluda. They just added this one. This one, I think, goes till 7:30, that flood warning. And, it doesn't look like that rain's letting up anytime soon. But those are the showers that we're kind of watching now, okay? So just remember, a warning. That means things are happening now. And we have seen flooding out there. We have seen motorists stranded trying to get out of the water because they drove into a flooded area. So don't do that. It's commute time, so that's a dangerous time. But you can see this is the overview across the Midlands. 6:15 for this one here, Richland to Lexington County, and then 7:30, I believe, for the one over through Saluda County. And then, all the green boxes are flood advisories over top of flood warnings. But then you have this flood advisory there stretching all the way down through the area. So this is a pretty big area as far as the showers and thunderstorms goes. And there's kind of a bigger view of what we're looking at. I see, overall, when you look at this, overall, it looks better. We see a lot less rain. I was saying earlier, the eastern half of the Midlands, this is all dissipated quite nicely. That's exactly what we want to see. What we don't want to see is more thunderstorm activity, and you can see that here, and that triggered another flood warning. So we're watching that as we go through this evening. So when is this going to end? I guess that's the most popular question. It looks like it's going to continue here for at least a couple more hours. Hopefully, as we get into the cooler part of the evening and into the overnight hours, these should dissipate. That's usually the trend as we go through, the trend to see those dissipate a little bit. And you can see these moving to the northeast, and you can see Boyd, Kendall Fields, Newberry High School, those kind of areas. This will actually show where these thunderstorms and showers are going, and what communities are going to be expected. Ridge Road Ray, Lake Murray Shores, you can see as you get to the top of the hour, you're getting more areas that are going to be impacted by this. A lot of these areas outside of Columbia, I'm talking about, there's not a lot of not greatly populated, if you will. So that's the good news. But we still have, these showers and thunderstorms that are impacting quite a few people. I got my eye on these, this line, this whole green area. I like that they did that. That's a pretty good area to put a flood advisory because you got more rain down here too. This is kind of dissipating, but as you can see, it's coming into certain areas as we go through the next hour or so. You get to the top of the hour and you can see East Aiken Elementary School, Silver Bluff High School here in about now actually coming up here. So these all pushing off to the northeast and dissipating a bit. I see this right here. This little shower is dissipating good. We hope that trend continues. But we have a batch of showers here. You see them going from the reds to the oranges and hopefully soon to the greens because we don't want to deal with any more flooding. But, they just issued a flood warning for Saluda County. So we're watching that. And I'm watching this area here to see how much more rain are we going to get where that flood advisory is because they may decide to issue a flood warning too. How do they know when to issue a flood warning? Well, I worked for the Weather Service, so the radars are very sophisticated. It's like, I'd say it's the best invention. There have been satellites and telegraph and all that, but this Doppler radar, especially in the 80s, can see movement in the thunderstorms and the showers. It can see rain rates. It can see wind speeds. It can see hail. It can detect their size. It can tell the difference between a snowflake and a raindrop. It's an amazing piece of technology. So, and whenever it sees, they got algorithms built in, and it'll tell the meteorologist at the Weather Service, okay, hey, you're getting, 1.5, 2 inches of rain per hour. You've already had 2 inches of rain. It's time to issue a flood warning. And it's not automated. There is a human, there's a meteorologist and a lead meteorologist, the whole team over there working to issue these as we go through the afternoon. So it's all about rain rates, how much rain has fallen. How about the past? Because this whole this flood advisory from Columbia down to Augusta got a lot of rain over the weekend. That all factors into whether or not they're going to issue these flood advisories or flood warnings. And that's what we got. Flood advisories and flood warnings. All the green is over top, but the flood warning, Richland, Lexington, over through Saluda County, this goes till 7:30. This one here, and for Columbia, it goes till 6:15. And they issued this flood advisory that goes all the way down to Aiken. And a lot of that's probably because of a lot of rain that fell over the weekend into the beginning of the work week this week. So you can see that. Look now, a little bit broader look there. It looks like they issued a little flood advisory here just south of Hartsfield. You can see more rain coming into Augusta, but overall, notice how the trend, it's all dissipating, and it should keep following that trend because it's getting cooler. Hottest part of the day, 2 to 4 o'clock, and then it starts getting cooler. We call this diurnal showers. We just got more than we anticipated today when we were looking at the models yesterday. Like I said, it happens. Sometimes the models don't pick up on the amount of rain. It's a little tricky for it to pick up the training, or, you know, Brianna and I were talking about earlier, you get all that cool wind comes down, hits the ground, and goes out in all directions. Not as strong as a microburst, but it creates little cold fronts, and it'll create other thunderstorms. So all the showers that fell earlier in the eastern half of the Midlands, you know, probably created a gust front, then it started picking up the moisture over here and created more thunderstorms. But you notice, I think, and this is going to continue as we go through the evening, these start to fall apart. We get a little bit less intense. That's been the trend here over the last hour, and hopefully that's going to continue. But we're still seeing a couple of pretty good thunderstorms out there. You still got that flood warning down there in Aiken County, extreme western part or southwestern Aiken County. These all going until later on this evening. This is great. I like to see this falling apart, getting a little bit weaker. Newberry getting some pretty good rain. Let's take a look at Newberry and see how it looks on there. I got a special camera for Newberry to see. We can actually see what's going on and how much the rain is falling out there. There you go. So Sumter really kind of staying out of this ball game. A few showers and just reduced their temperature, but it doesn't look like it looked like they stayed away from the flooding. Columbia, you can see partly cloudy to mostly cloudy, but less shower activity. And you can see Newberry pretty wet out there. Some drops on our lens and just yeah, pretty ominous looking. But you know, it's not the dark gray that you usually see with you know, like severe thunderstorms. It's a little bit lighter. You notice like the sky gets a little brighter and brighter and brighter as the rain showers dissipate. You can see off in the distance those showers that are near Sumter, and they got the effects of the cooling. So they got all the good stuff, the cooler temperatures, and not the bad stuff. So what are we talking about? Showers, thunderstorms, you know, flooding, the primary concern. Rain, moderate to heavy at times. That is all still in play here as we go through the next couple of hours. But overall, look at the whole state here. Notice the returns are going from the orange and the yellows and reds down into the greens. You got the thunder, the lightning strikes here. That's a whole lightning detection network. It's actually pretty cool if you're into that. Yeah, but a lot of lightning. It is dissipating. I mean, there's still some pretty good thunderstorms out there. Don't get me wrong. But it looks like things are starting to get better slowly as we go through here. You can see Saluda up to Newberry. That's some pretty good rain shower activity there. Topography plays a big part of this too. You know, like I worked in a lot of areas, but you know, Colorado and like West Virginia was, it's known for flooding because of, you know, people live near the rivers in the valleys, and you got the rain that goes into the mountains, and it all goes down to where people live, and they get a lot of flooding. So topography, they're watching the gauges. Like I said, the USGS has a tremendous network of rain gauges and streams. They can see the level of the streams, and they can figure that out. And there's another algorithm. There's a lot of algorithms in weather, but it figures out these streams and the flow, the flux of the water and all that, and whether or not they need to issue a flood advisory, which they did here in this green box, or a flood warning, which you see across a good part of the area. That one goes till 6:15. This one here that goes into Richland, Lexington County, and of course includes Columbia. So this is good. This is good and nice to see that we're seeing a little bit of dissipate. We got a flood advisory, I said, over in Hartsfield. But overall, Newberry, you're going to get some rain here for a little while, and then starting to get a little bit better as we go through the evening hours. All right, okay, let's see what Christy has over there, some updates. Christy?
Yeah. Hey there, Chevy. Let's go ahead and break down a little bit about what we're seeing right now on the roads. I want to go ahead and show you some video about some flooding that we've been seeing in and around the area. Let's go ahead and start over in Whaley Street, if that's possible. We want to go ahead and show you in and around the Columbia, Lexington, Richland County areas of some of that flooding. I understand that we were getting some video about that a little bit earlier on today to kind of show us that video. Let's see if looks like we're working on that right now. I'm going to go ahead and give the team just a little. Okay, so this is a live look here over in Whaley Street. Oh, I wish that camera can go right on back because it was interesting. You can actually see a vehicle that was kind of in and around that flooding area. But again, this road is currently closed to traffic because of how much rain that they are experiencing in this area. We also have some video again over on Gervais Street and Rosewood. Look at that right there. It looks like that's a vehicle on in there that was submerged in all of that water. Yeah, while we're kind of going back and forth with that Whaley Street video there, excuse me, that live look. Again, that's another look there. We want to go ahead and also show you some video. I believe we were able to get some video of Gervais Street and Rosewood from earlier today. We want to go ahead and show you guys that as well. Again, we're just going to give it a couple of more seconds on in there to get you that video. Again, this is some video of driving earlier today from Gervais Street Bridge of that flash flooding. Again, if you can safely and send us some video, we would appreciate that. We also have a Facebook post right now on our website of all of the opportunities that you can go ahead and post those pictures and those videos there right now. Also on our website, WLTX.com, we have a long list of flash flooding warnings that are in effect and those flood-prone areas that are currently being blocked to traffic. Again, Gervais and Lawrence, Blossom and Henderson, Blossom and Saluda, Hardin and Santee, then Two Notch and Reed. We also have Wheat and Amherst. We also have Devine and Wheat. We have a lot of areas in and around there. And then we also want to send things on over to Calhoun County. We have News 19's Ariana Clay giving us the very latest in that county. Ariana.
Ariana Clay with WLTX in the Calhoun County area, and I just want to show you guys a look at one of the sidewalks by the County Council office. I mean, you can see the rain was light, but it's enough that now that it's completely covering my hand. So that's what we're seeing. Of course, we're hearing a little bit of lightning, but nothing too much, I'm sure, is compared to other parts of Columbia.
All righty, we have meteorologist Brianna Mowry joining us right now. Okay, so kind of bring us up to speed. We were actually talking about a lot of that lightning out there and pretty much some new alerts the last time we saw you.
Right, we do have several flash flood warnings out there now. If we can pull up Max 3 and get a look at that radar really quickly, we can see where that heaviest of the rain is falling right now across the Midlands. There we go, perfect. The first flash flood warning in place for downtown Columbia. That one goes until 5:30, so not a whole lot more, or actually, excuse me, that one's 6:15. It got extended a little bit. That is in parts of Lexington and Richland County. This one is the one that is for downtown Columbia, Irmo, Lexington. If we move this over to the west, we have another flash flood warning in place until 7:30. This is for other parts of Lexington, Newberry, and Saluda counties. This includes Lake Murray, Dreer Island State Park right along Lake Murray as well. Also just the northern side of Batesburg, Leesville, Saluda. So that's the other flash flood warning. But if you look at this, you can see how quickly that rain is dissipating. It came quickly and now it's dissipating quickly, and that's the nature of these summertime storms. So they move in quick. They can sit on the same spots for quite a while. That heaviest area of rainfall, though, other areas up next, not looking quite as heavy as it has been. So I would not expect a flash flood warning in this area. But if you are going to be driving, still be careful on roadways, because even if you don't have a flash flood warning, you could still see that ponding of water on roadways. So other areas, Blair, Clayton, coming up at 5:01. So just after 5 o'clock, this moves into parts of Newberry County and then northward out of the Midlands. So there's those times on your screen. Also, Christy was asking about lightning strikes across the Midlands today. This starts at just before 2 o'clock, and you can see that counter at the top of the screen of those lightning strikes across the Midlands in these storms. And up until now, it has over 3,100 lightning strikes. So it starts from, nothing. And you can see over time those lightning strikes across the Midlands, and that is all just from today and those storms today. So definitely, in addition to the flood threats out there, lightning has been an issue. We have seen issues related to lightning strikes across the Midlands this evening. So definitely an active weather day across the Midlands. And we are going to continue to see this for a couple hours, but things are winding down. Rainfall is dissipating. I am going to go backwards a little bit to one more look at the beginning of this radar so we can get a wide view of the whole Midlands. The heaviest rainfall right now is in Newberry County. But again, you can tell it's moving away just a little bit and it's dissipating. So we had, some red colors on the radar. Now it's going to orange or down to even yellow in some spots. So these showers are dissipating fast, but those areas that have flood advisories and flash flood warnings, still be careful as long as those warnings are in place. Chevy.
All right, thanks, Brianna. Let's show you the situation. We'll recap this. Yeah, there we go. So flood advisories, flood warnings. There's one down there for Augusta too, but they just added this about a half hour ago. That goes till 7:30. And as Brianna was saying, you know, these showers are dissipating. And hopefully, as we go through the evening hours, as things start to, you know, cool down and we get to the cooler part of the day, these will continue to dissipate. But yeah, impressive amount of lightning strikes. This is the wider look at the whole state. You can see what's going on here. You can see that we still have some pretty good thunderstorms. Don't get me wrong. I mean, this one's stretching from, you know, Newberry all the way down through Augusta. Those are some pretty good showers. But overall, especially the eastern half and Columbia, the showers are dissipating a little bit as we go through here over the last hour or so. These are some pretty good. Newberry getting some pretty good rain right now. Saluda got some rain there. So flooding, primary concern, all right? We also have some severe thunderstorms out there and have had several of them through the afternoon into the evening. Those mean wind speeds could knock down trees. We've seen that already. You can see power losses and all of that. And then guess what? Tomorrow afternoon, we have a chance for some more rain and could see some thunderstorms. It doesn't look as bad as this. And this kind of, you know, developed through the overnight hours. The models didn't show this as accurate as it actually is yesterday, but we're dealing with it, and we're going to continue to monitor this all the way through our shows. You can watch the radar right here 24/7 and see what's going on with the radar and all the lightning strikes and all that. Okay, flooding. Be careful out there. Stay tuned. We're going to have all the updates throughout the evening.
Good job.
Thanks, Brianna.
Good job, guys. Making sure everybody's safe.
Brandon wants us over there.
You know,
Hey.
I'm going to show her that the finger
Okay.
technology
Whoa!
and
Coming.
how good that is.
I forget. Is it taller on the outside, taller on the inside? Yeah. We're good. Thank you. Okay. He's got it set.
Great. Nope.
Okay.
I was just making sure somebody had it. Because I most certainly did not have it.
Now let me.
Okay, he's gonna get mad at me if I ask. I ain't gonna ask him.
That was work. You want to switch?
Yeah.
Could you see? Go ahead.
Brandon, you better run.
You got 20 seconds.
That guy.
I'm home. Take a break.
Your mic's on, Brianna.
And so is yours, Chevy, and so is ours.
Just a heads up.
WLTX breaking news now.
Good evening and thank you so much for joining us here for a very busy Friends at 5. I'm Erica Glover.
And I'm Christy Calcagno. We are beginning to follow that continuous breaking news coverage of that severe weather that is impacting many communities.
And listen to this, more than 3,000 lightning strikes so far. That is crazy. Intense ponding right behind us, leading to dangerous driving conditions and crashes just like this one along I-26 East, along with reports of water rescues.
Now, intersections like this one right here, you can see it was standstill tonight. It was whipping winds, lightning strikes, all of this leading to multiple reports of downed trees and power lines leading to outages.
Right now, though, News 19's Kiki Gushu is joining us live. She is busy at Columbia's Whaley Street. Kiki, tell us, what conditions are you seeing in that area?
Erica, Christy, when I first moved to Columbia, I was told when it rains, look out for Whaley Street, and that is exactly what happened here today. There were some pretty serious flash floods here, and you can see the Columbia Street Division is out here working really hard cleaning up some of the sediment. It really smells like mud out here, and this is where a car was stuck. Now, we saw an onlooker who told us he never saw the person, but he was really worried. The wipers were going, and it was just stuck. The lights were on, but we did speak with some public officials out here, some law enforcement, and they said they believe the driver got out and that he is safe, and that they were going to take that car over to safety. But take a listen. We met with one resident here who was kind of just describing just this pop-up storm that turned into some pretty serious flooding. Have a listen.
So I was just upstairs like watching a movie, and then the power went out for a second and we lost internet, and so like it was raining cats and dogs. So I'm like, I wonder what it's like over here. I got like the Amber Alert on my phone for like a flash flood warning. And so I walked out by like the windows over there on the 4th floor. And I saw like the river over there was just flowing right onto the road. Like, and there was this car right here that was underwater. Like wipers were still going on it and the lights were still on, but I didn't see anyone in there, thankfully.
And this is the Rocky Branch stream creek here that is known for flooding, and actually the Congaree River Keeper giving a reminder today that you shouldn't swim in any floodwaters, and you also absolutely should not be driving through any floodwaters. Now the cleanup is continuing here on Whaley Street. You can see they're getting rid of a lot of dirt and sediment that came from the Rocky Branch Creek. This road is still closed, so we want drivers to still be using caution, avoid this area while these crews work to clean up and make sure that they're keeping you safe. Stay with us. We're going to be bringing you more updates on this storm damage. I'm live here in Columbia. Kiki Gashu, News 19, WLTX.
And that, of course, is why we are here on air. We want to keep folks safe. So, Kiki, thank you so much for that report there.
And we also want to go ahead and show you some video of flooding over in Forest Acres. The city there says that heavy afternoon rain during pickup on the first day of school, bringing flash flooding across Forest Acres. Penn Branch Creek also overflowing as part of Brentwood Drive that is also blocked.
Also, Forest Acres police, they are saying that a driver was helped in escaping their flooded out car on Boudon Court. That is right behind Morgan Nellis. So thankfully, the driver is okay, but we are constantly getting those reports in and then asking our chief meteorologist what the conditions are currently looking like. So let's go ahead and tap in now and talk to him about that. But we also want to show you a live look here, I-26 East, exit 125. This area has been backed up now, Christy, for more than 1 hour, I believe.
Yeah, that's right. And so right now you can see that a crash was reported at around 4:24 this afternoon. It impacted 2 lanes of traffic as of late. It looks like they are opening almost all of the lanes right now. But again, this has been backed up for at least an hour or so from now. So if this is part of your evening commute, just make sure that you are taking it slow out there.
And I keep thinking about not only the conditions out there on the busy highways, but we have folks who are back in school now. So we have the school bus drivers. Yep. We have student pickup that's happening. A lot of folks are trying to now reroute. And they want to know, Chevy, are the showers going to pick back up later this Thursday evening?
It looks like we're going downward trend, dissipating, which is great to see, because this was, mostly caused by sunshine this morning, right? There's probably something in the atmosphere that the models did not pick up on. So what happened? We didn't have this. I didn't have this in the forecast. I had rain, 50%, moderate to heavy at times, and some showers, but we got more than the models were showing. It happened. It started last night, developing more and more with rain and more showers. And then this morning, the Storm Prediction Center issued a notice that we could have some severe thunderstorms. So this all developed overnight and then this morning. So it led to this. Flood warnings, that's the red. So Richland, Lexington, over through Saluda County. This one for Saluda County goes till 7:30. This one's 6:15. They may let that go. You say, well, it stopped raining in Columbia. Why am I still under a flood warning, or it's light rain? Well, that water has to evacuate. It has to get out of the area before they'll drop the flood warnings or flood advisories. And you can see, the problem, and I've been saying this all week, the problem if you get rain moderate to heavy, you're going to have a chance for flooding, and that's exactly what we've had. And with the severe thunderstorms, you have a chance for some pretty good wind gusts that could knock trees down. The green area, that's the flood advisory, nuisance flooding, be on alert kind of thing. It's above the flood watch. And then these aren't particularly in order, but the flash flood warning is what we got in the red there. And that means, the flood warning, that is gradual rivers rising and then exceeding their banks. It takes hours, if not days. But the flash flood warning is quick. The sponge is wet and full. The ground is very saturated. All that rain has to go somewhere, and it causes flash flooding. You can still see severe thunderstorm going up into North Carolina, but mostly the shower activity is dissipating, which is good. We still have some pretty good showers, don't get me wrong, and that's going to probably take a little while for that flood warning to go away, but there's a chance. Then you have that flood advisory stretching from Columbia all the way down to Augusta. They got a lot of rain over the weekend, and they're getting more. Now, we have a chance tomorrow to see even more rain showers, some thunderstorms. It does not look nearly as bad as what we're seeing now, but just be alert. There is a chance tomorrow to see showers. And then we look at this forecast. This model shows, the Midlands on average. What we could see as far as the rain chances, it goes till 6 or 7 o'clock. Hopefully this is right and the rain stops, but some areas are going to still see some more showers. More showers and thunderstorms tonight. Another round tomorrow looks a lot less intense. We'll talk about that and have your complete forecast coming up in just a couple minutes. Oh, yeah, we'll look at the traffic here in a little bit.
We're continuing to follow the very latest there on I-26, but we'll go ahead and show you another look at that in just a little bit. For right now, we want to go ahead and show you a quick look at the power outage map here. This is a look over in Dominion Energy. Last time we were on WLTX Plus giving you the very latest. So far, the numbers really haven't changed. Dominion Energy customers still about 6,118 customers are still without power. Most of this all into the downtown Columbia area. Although this number says 18, it's actually almost 2,600 customers are without power in and around this area. Every single time we're just giving you a refresh. And here's another update for you. You can see this is with the Electric Cooperative here of South Carolina. The green means about 1 to 99 meters are out. But right here in the red, Lexington County, 208 meters are out in this area. And then over in Calhoun County, 178 meters are then without power. First time over in Lawrence County, we're seeing an orange in and around that area. But mostly Richland County and Orangeburg County, Aiken County, all of this is going to be in the green. Mid-Carolina, this is a big update as well. Last time we were on the air, 306. Right now, that number of outages, 364. Also going up in and around this area, but still it is in the Red Bank, Lexington County area. Now about 42 outages, 16 outages, 70 in that area, and 18 here. Lastly, we just want to show you Duke Energy. Not a lot of people here have Duke Energy in and around the Midlands, but we're going to go ahead and show you here in the Camden area. Still about 150 customers are without power. If you use Duke Energy, most of this is in Camden, but we'll continue to follow this. But it looks like from WLTX Plus, when we were on the air for the past couple of hours, there really hasn't been a lot of changes to the power outages.
We are also busy tracking breaking news updates from the Lexington County coroner. It is regarding the preliminary autopsy results for Master Deputy Julian Hope Olson. She died late last week. Now the coroner says a forensic autopsy performed Monday at MUSC determined her cause of death was freshwater drowning. The coroner says the circumstances that led to Deputy Olson's death remain under investigation by our Department of Natural Resources, the South Carolina Law Enforcement Division, and the Lexington County Coroner's Office. The coroner, though, also extended condolences to Deputy Olson's family, her dive team members, fellow deputies, and everyone who knew her.
We coming to get you. I can promise you that. We will identify and we will have you, take you in custody and prosecute you to the fullest.
We're learning some new details about a brutal homicide investigation over in Sumter County.
News 19's Megan Dowkshiz is in Sumter with what we know and the message from Sheriff Anthony Dennis.
Investigators say this is not where Maurice Isaac was killed, but rather where his burned body was found. He was found in these woods right here on Cedar Avenue and Industrial Road. Somebody came across this body, and while we were filming today, we ran into that person. He asked to stay anonymous, but here is what he had to say.
When I saw it, I never saw that in the horror movie. But God forgive the person who did it or whatever. And now this parent can bury her son like it's supposed to be buried.
Sheriff Anthony Dennis says detectives believe Isaac was beaten, shot in the head, and brought to this location where the body was set on fire.
Troublesome to me and to our whole staff for someone to have been, I will tell you, not only beaten, but shot, then body burnt. We are looking at this as almost a message being sent to someone.
Investigators believe the killing happened between 4 and 5 Saturday morning. The sheriff says surveillance video from the area is helping detectives build a timeline of what happened before Isaac's body was found. Dennis says the investigation has now grown into a multi-agency effort with help from SLED and the ATF's Gang Task Force. He says investigators believe this is gang related, but has not released which group or why.
We coming to get you. I can promise you that. We will identify and we will have you, take you in custody and prosecute you to the fullest.
Isaac's family had not filed an official missing person report before his body was found, but the sheriff says family members were searching for him and posting on social media, which helped investigators identify him. Investigators are working to find whoever is responsible. The Sumter Sheriff's Office is asking anybody with information to please come forward. Reporting here in Sumter County, Megan Daukshis, News 19, WLTX.
All right, Megan, thank you so much. By the way, if you at home and you know anything about this case, you are urged to go ahead and call Crime Stoppers. You can remain anonymous. As always, that number is 1-888-CRIME-SC. Chevy.
Warnings and some rain showers out there, and we're going to continue to see this through the evening hours. We're going to show you all of it and give you the complete update. There is a chance for rain tomorrow as well. I don't think it'll be this bad, but we have a chance for that. We're going to talk about that and give you a complete forecast, including the weekend, coming up here in a couple minutes.
Chevy, thank you. Continuing now, Richland County deputies are investigating an overnight shooting that left one person hurt. This happened off of Clemson Road and Cone Drive at around 11:30 last night. And that's where they found someone suffering from a gunshot wound. No word yet on their condition or what led up to this shooting, as the case is still under investigation. As always, we will keep you informed both on air and online at WLTX.com. Now over to Aiken County, where the sheriff's office there is investigating a man that was found dead in North Augusta. The Aiken County coroner says the body was discovered at around 8:20 this morning in a drainage ditch along the Jefferson Davis Highway. The man has been identified, but his name will not be released until the next of kin is notified. An autopsy is scheduled to determine the cause of death, and as the investigation continues. Now a bit closer to home, where the Orangeburg Department of Public Safety is asking for your help in finding a missing woman. Take a good look here on your screen. This is a photo of 52-year-old Pamela Denise Hunter. She was last seen at around August 1st. She's 5'6", about 173 pounds. And if you have any information about where she is, you are urged to contact the Orangeburg Department of Public Safety, or you can submit a tip through Tip 411. Well, a family is receiving help after a house fire in Hopkins. Columbia Richland Fire says that crews were dispatched to the 200 block of Tucker Road shortly before 11 o'clock last night for a fire at a split-level home. Firefighters say that nobody was home at the time and no injuries were reported as well. But the home did suffer significant damage, and the Richland County Fire Marshal's Office is investigating on exactly what caused this fire. The American Red Cross also says that disaster-trained volunteers are helping 5 people who were displaced because of the blaze. They are providing financial assistance and immediate needs like food, clothing, and shelter, along with referrals for additional resources. We're going to have another check of the forecast and a look at your health headlines on the other side of this quick break.
Welcome back to Friends at 5. We are following up on your latest health headlines. The FDA has now approved a new seasonal flu vaccine. The new vaccine from Moderna is called Influenza. It is approved for ages 50 and older and should be available in time for this upcoming flu season. Now, there are some common side effects that include pain at the injection site, fatigue, and also headaches. This is the first flu vaccine that uses mRNA technology, which is the same as Pfizer and Moderna's COVID-19 vaccines. Listen.
The current process is almost 9 months. By the time we roll them out, the flu vaccine has mutated, resulting in a somewhat mismatched vaccine to the currently circulating flu strains.
Now, this new shot did receive approval despite a history of criticism of mRNA technology from HHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. The FDA saying earlier this year it would not consider Moderna's application, but then they changed course days later when the company challenged that particular ruling. Season, more than 22,000 voters casting ballots Wednesday during our statewide early voting for South Carolina's U.S. Senate Special Republican primary. The South Carolina Election Commission says, take a look here at your screen, that 22,106 people in all voted. Horry County leading our state, followed by Greenville, Lexington, and Spartanburg counties. Early voting, though, continues today and tomorrow from 8:30 in the morning until 5 o'clock in the evening. Happening tonight, Chapin Town Council is holding a special called meeting, and on that agenda, readings of proposed amendments to the Town Code of Ordinances regarding the authority of the Town Council, the mayor, and the municipal attorney, again happening over in Chapin. The agenda also includes a discussion of attorneys currently on retainer, are being consulted by that mayor. The meeting is scheduled for tonight at 6 o'clock.
We're continuing to follow the very latest about that crash on I-26 eastbound there. This is on Old Sandy Run Road, but yeah, it looks like that the traffic is now moving along right now after a crash that closed down 2 left lanes at around 4, about 2 or maybe an hour and a half from now. But it looks like things are picking up just a little bit, but it looks like crews are still on the side of the road.
Yeah, so you still really got to give yourself some extra time out there. Take it easy. Please go slow. I think we got to say that because, you know.
Yeah, I mean, hydroplaning is also a really dangerous thing, especially with all of that rain that we got out there, Chevy.
I think if you hydroplane, you just hold the wheel steady. Isn't that the...
There is no braking. So when you as somebody who's from New York, when we're driving in the snow, it is just 2 hands on the wheel, and then you got to go towards as you are turning. So no braking. Do not touch the brake.
Hold it steady there.
Hold it steady.
Ponding on the roads and things like that, we certainly had a lot more than that as we go through the day today. So weather impact alert for this flooding, and mainly for the flooding. There's also some wind out there that we have to deal with. So what happened? I mean, this much rain was not in the forecast. And last night, overnight, I saw that the models started developing more and more rain. And as we pressed through the morning, the model runs were showing more and more until we got this. And, you know, it happens sometimes. The good thing is it does not happen often, right? So it's like the Storm Prediction Center didn't see it until this morning and then put a little area of possible severe for us there. So we all picked up on this morning and it just started getting worse. So anyway, this goes until through this evening. The good news is it's starting to dissipate, right? Don't drive across the roads. We have seen already several people drive across roads and get stranded. So it's not a good idea. You can see the rain has cooled things down. You can see showers across the area. Here's a wider look at it. The good news is you start to see those reds and oranges and yellows going to green, and things are dissipating and starting slowly but surely to get better. They were able to, notice all the rain earlier, but they were able to drop the flood warning, flash flood warning for Columbia and, Richland and Lexington, but Saluda County still has it. You got Augusta has a flood warning. And then there's that flood advisory from basically all the way down through Aiken to Augusta, because they got rain, a lot of rain over the weekend, and then more rain as we went through the beginning of the work week there. I skipped right over this graphic. So here's the current situation with the National Weather Service flood products. I don't know what's going on here, but there we go. So we got this flood advisory here, and that's, you know, that's above a flood watch. There's flooding, ponding on roads. Be careful. Stay off the roads if you can. But this flash flood warning, that's the big one. That's when you need to take action. So you have flood watches. I don't know why they didn't put these in order, but flood watch, conditions are favorable to see flooding. Flood advisory, you got nuisance flooding. Be alert. Don't drive across the water-covered roads. And then you have flash flooding. The difference between flood and flash flood is flooding is like a river slowly creeping up, going above its banks and spilling out over hours or even days. But flash flooding is water rapidly running somewhere, and you know, you get over the roads, things like that. It's a quick one. It's not like the flood advisory. That's why they have so many flood products. Showers and thunderstorms, you know, they're dissipating, but it's still, we got rain moderate. I'd say moderate at times now. And flooding still the primary concern, with the second concern being the winds. I mean, you got severe thunderstorms. We don't have any now, good, but we had some, and wind gusts. Not so much the hail or no tornado activity, but you know, the damaging wind gusts knocked down trees, knocked down power lines. That happened quite a bit across the Midlands. Now we have a chance for rain showers tomorrow. You know, it's a 40%. The models are not showing anything near what we saw today. Let's see how that looks. It's usually good, like I said. It's rare that they miss something like this. And you can see all that rain dissipating there in those areas that have the flood advisory or the flood warning. In this area here, I was talking about this, how much rain they got over the weekend, and then some more now. And this model, this is what we call a point forecast. This is for Columbia. It shows rain stopping at about 7 or 8 o'clock. These are usually pretty good. So that's the central Midlands, but overall, that's probably the pattern. And this model, which is a fantastic model. I mean, this is the first time, I've been here, about 9 months. This is the first time I've seen it miss something as far as intensity, right? It does show it going away by 8 o'clock like the other one did, and it shows some clearing during the overnight hours. So this is terrific news. But we need to get that water out of here. It's going to take a little while. Tomorrow, you have another round of showers and possible thunderstorms. I got it at 40%. It doesn't look like anything today, but it wouldn't take much tomorrow afternoon to trigger some more flooding. We've got the rain out there now, maybe a thunderstorm. Things are gradually improving. And then tomorrow, chance for afternoon showers and maybe some thunderstorms. And then we get a little bit drier this weekend. 30% chance for some afternoon showers. We're going to need that break after all the activity today. So weather impact alert through this evening, and then slowly drying out as we go into the weekend. More on your weather coming up in a few minutes.
Chevy is a very busy man, and we thank him so much. And be sure to go ahead and download our WLTX app. It's free on your phone and on your TV. We've been streaming online all evening long throughout all of our storm coverage. Just scan that QR code right here on your screen and make sure you have access to our latest updates of our severe weather coverage. Stay with us. Our second half hour coming up next.
Well, that does us here for the first half hour of Friends at 5. We're going to have much more coverage, especially of our traffic and weather conditions.
Yeah, we got you covered. Stay with us for Friends at 5. Thank you so much for joining us here for our second half hour of Friends at 5 on this very busy and rainy Thursday evening. I'm Erica Glover.
And I'm Christy Calcagno. Yeah, we are continuing to follow that breaking news coverage of that severe weather that is impacting much of the Midlands.
We told you about more than 3,000 lightning strikes. Imagine that. And then intense ponding leading to driving conditions that are very hazardous out there and crashes just like this one that we have been talking about all evening long, and even reports of water rescues.
Yeah, and so there are intersections like this one that you had a lot of people in and around, lightning strikes, also leading to multiple reports of downed trees and power lines and outages.
Right now, though, let's go ahead and check back in with News 19's Kiki Gushu. She is joining us live from Columbia's Whaley Street, and we can see a lot going on behind you there earlier. I am curious, Kiki, we were really surprised to hear that apparently a first responder told you to make sure folks know you cannot swim out in the water.
Erica, that's right. It was a reminder from the Congaree River Keeper saying that you don't want to swim in these floodwaters. You don't know what's in them, bacteria, runoff, just it could be anything. So if you have an adventurous kid who wants to play out in the rain, kind of keep them away from those floodwaters. And you can see behind me, Whaley Street is back open. The cleanup crews here worked really, really quickly getting this road reopened, working like a fine oil machine. They had the street sweepers out here, but they probably emptied about 2 or 3 truckloads worth of dirt and sediment that was kind of built up here in the drainage ditches and the drains. So that was really good. They got those floodwaters moving and got things moving, traffic moving here on Whaley Street. Whaley Street is prone to flooding. If you live in this area, it's one of the things they tell you. So there haven't been a steady stream of cars yet. I think people are still kind of avoiding this area, but there's traffic now, and the crews just finished up about 10 minutes ago getting this road cleared and back open. A little bit different here, they actually do have guardrails, gates that say road closed because there is so much flooding in this area, but the road is back open. But again, if you're going out, you want to be really, really cautious on the roads. The rain is still coming down, as you can see. So be careful. turn around, don't drown. That's what they say. And then also a reminder tonight not to go swimming or wading into any floodwaters. Be safe out there and make sure that you are using your best judgment and caution. I'll be bringing you more updates live in Columbia. Kiki Gushu, News 19 WLTX.
Kiki, we appreciate all your hard work out there. Also interesting how quickly they were able to get that going, get that sediment out there. Are you seeing any more law enforcement in and around that area? And as far as the cars that are going behind you in Whaley Street, there's no issues as far as pondering in and around those areas around you at this point?
Christy, they are making it through at a pretty good speed. I do want to highlight, there's some potholes that kind of fill with water along Whaley Street, so that is something to watch out for. If you're riding a little bit lower, like this car that's turning here, you might want to watch out just because these potholes do fill with water. That can be a little bit of a hazard. So if you're in an SUV, you might be a little bit more okay, but if you're in one of the low riding cars, you might want to watch out and just be careful out here. Christy, there are not law enforcement in this area anymore. They've kind of cleared it out and moved on to the next spot with their team, just trying to get things moving here in Columbia. Christy?
All righty, Kiki, thank you so much, and we appreciate that report there tonight.
Okay, so let's also keep talking about traffic, right?
Yeah.
Let's show you another live look with our traffic cameras out at I-20 West, mile marker 70.8. It's one spot that has been impacted by showers out there. You can see it's pretty wet.
Yeah, it is definitely wet out there. And here's the big thing. So many people are leaving work right now. So that's where the traffic that is picking up right now. Again, that big fear of hydroplaning in and around these roads, just making sure that you're taking it slow out there.
Yeah, it's pretty slick out there. Let's go ahead and check in now with our chief meteorologist, Chevy Chevalier. He has been busy in the Weather Center. And are we talking about some more showers later tonight, Chevy?
Yeah, we have some more showers out there, guys. Yeah, and let me just explain this. Some are probably saying, well, what happened, Chevy? We didn't have a weather impact alert. We didn't have this much rain in the forecast. My forecast from yesterday was, rain, moderate to heavy at times, and a chance for thunderstorms, and maybe isolated. We had honestly more than that. And the models didn't start picking up on it until late last night. And then, after about 1 o'clock, I saw they started picking up a little bit more intensity. And I'm thinking, wow, it wasn't showing this earlier. And then you got to wait and see a few more runs to see if it stays that way. And it got a little bit worse as we went through this morning. So this happens. The good news, it does not happen that often. Our models are usually better than that. So what do we do now? We look at this, see why we couldn't see this happening, especially just 24 hours out, and try to fix that issue. So you get the best team coverage on this stuff. So we're working on it. It bothers us when we miss a forecast. Watch out. Don't drive across the roads. We've seen multiple stranded motorists and people still try to do it. And, I'm not giving up. Turn around, don't drown. I'm going to tell people that until my career is over and even beyond. It's very dangerous stuff. It doesn't kill as many people as heat, but it's the number 2 killer, flooding, because so many things can cause flooding. We still have this flood warning over through Saluda County, so that goes until 7:15. One down there for Augusta too. The good news is you start to see less oranges and red on the radar and more green. There's the flood warning. If we get specific for the Midlands, this is a flood advisory. I think it goes to 8:15 up there just north of Newberry. They just got some pretty good rain. So I'm concerned about obviously the flooding, number 1, and 2, some damaging winds. The good news is we're starting to go into the cooler part of the day and things look like they're wrung the moisture out of the air and they're dissipating quite a bit, and it can actually cut quite a bit fast. I like what Brianna said earlier. These can pop up fast, but they can go away fast as well. Showers into, the 7 or 8 o'clock period with this model. This is specific to just the Columbia, central Midlands, but it's usually pretty good overall for the Midlands. More showers tonight, flooding, the number 1 thing. Now, there's a chance for rain tomorrow. Right now, it does not look nearly as bad as what we have just gone through the last few years. We'll take a look at that and take a look at your weekend. We do get a break from all this coming up here in just a couple of minutes. Right now, we looked at the traffic there. So let's take just coming into work, I-77 southbound, there were several people, not off of the road, but on the side of the road. I think some people, the visibility was so bad. This is about 1:30. Visibility was so bad that they just, pulled over, which is good if you don't feel safe. Northbound I-77, pretty slow. You see the junction is really slow. We got a few accidents around there. I-20, all of I-20 earlier was seeing quite a bit of rain shower activity. So, I'm actually surprised there aren't even more than this. So people are being safe out there, and that's good to see. Take it slow, stay off the roads if you can. Your complete forecast is coming up in just a couple of minutes.
As always, good advice, Chevy. Be sure to download our free WLTX app for your phone and your TV. We keep telling y'all we have been streaming online all afternoon throughout the storms. So you scan the QR code right here on your screen to make sure you have all the access to our latest severe weather coverage at any time, anywhere you are. Stay with us.
Well, I hope you're having a nice evening. You're being safe and you're at home and everything's okay. We had some weather this afternoon and evening. The forecast, at least mine, was, showers and thunderstorms. Some could be severe with the potential of flooding, but not this much. We didn't anticipate 2-3 inches of rain. The models were not showing that. They started to show it last night and it just developed this happens sometimes. But the good news is, as far as models picking up on intensity of how much rain and all that, the good news is it does not happen a lot. So that's good. So what we're looking at now, weather impact alert, through the evening at least, things are improving as we go through the evening. That's good news, right? Don't drive, don't walk, don't go near flooded areas. We've already seen several motorists stranded. Brianna and I watched a guy get out of his car because it was halfway in the water and try to get to it. And that's dangerous stuff. You don't know how swift that water's going, how deep it is. So make sure you can get these alerts. Either you're watching this, you watch us on Plus. We were doing a few hours of coverage on this. And you can always get your radar here. And you can also get a weather radio or use our app and get it on your phone. That's the best way because most people have a phone. Stay away from down power lines. Be careful about down branches. We take a look across the area. How about 70? 70 degrees. That rain has certainly cooled off the atmosphere. Look at all this. So Brianna was talking to Christy earlier about lightning strikes, and we can count them. We counted, I think, for 5 hours, noon until maybe 5. I think there was over 5,000 lightning strikes. So a lot of lightning there, but the primary concern is the flooding. Now, they did drop the flood warning that was for, Lexington, Richland County across, whole metro Columbia area. But they got this other one here that goes from Summit out to Saluda County, and they still have the one there for Augusta. They just get rain here. It's probably, due to topography and other things, but they got a lot of rain over the weekend. And they had a flood advisory from Columbia all the way down to Augusta, but that's been dropped. Flood warning until 6:15. So flood advisory, I think that one goes until 8 or 8:30. So be careful. Flooding is the primary concern. Not worried about tornadoes. Severe hail, not worried about inch hail. We haven't really seen much hail there, but we have seen damaging wind gusts. So that's why I would say, 4 or 5 of these thunderstorms became severe, maybe a few more, with the wind speeds clocking 58 plus. So the only thing we've got here is this flood advisory in the Midlands, and there for that flood warning. You should notice it's going down to all green. That's looking good. I'd like to see that. We're going into the cooler part of the day, so the sunshine triggered most of this. We actually have high pressure just to our north, which usually means good weather, but we got some pretty good convection or lift from the sunshine this morning. And you can see the models are wrapping this up by about 7 or 8 o'clock, and these are usually pretty good. Now, we're looking at tomorrow. Right now it's at 40%, and then on the weekend is looking pretty dry. I think I might drop that to 20%. But just watch out tomorrow. There's a chance for showers and thunderstorms. It doesn't look nearly as intense what we just saw, but it does show another round of showers and thunderstorms. You can see this goes away quickly. What we have, this is our future radar and satellite. Tomorrow, sunshine, once again, how much sunshine do you get in the morning? And then you see, the models can calculate all that, but they're showing around the showers as we go through the afternoon, evening hours. It doesn't look nearly as bad as what we just saw. This rain today didn't start showing up on the model until about 1 o'clock in the morning. And you can see Saturday afternoon, a slight chance for showers. 72, some showers still out and about. Hopefully we'll drop this flood warning and flood advisory when they expire, and we don't have to deal with that anymore. But still be careful. There's probably flooded roads out there, especially out there outside of the city and everything. This weekend, near normal temperatures, a slight chance for a shower each afternoon. But like I said, especially tomorrow, it wouldn't take much to create more flooding. We'll have more on your weather, of course, coming up in just a couple minutes.
Chevy, thank you so much. Right now, though, we are following some breaking news out of Richland County. That is where residents are being urged to avoid the Leesburg and Harmon Road area. That's because the Sheriff's Department is now conducting an active search, they say, for suspects. The Sheriff's Department says there is a significant law enforcement presence in that area.
Yeah, so Leesburg and Harmon roads are right now closed all the way up to McCord's Ferry Road. So drivers are asked to use an alternative route there until this search is complete. No details yet about the suspects or this investigation at all. So this is a developing story. As always, you can depend on us to keep you informed both on air and online at WLTX.com. All right, everybody, stick with us. We'll have more of your weather and news coming up on the other side of this quick break.
Okay, do me a favor and think back to your school days, the excitement and also the first day jitters mixed with the anticipation of a brand new school year. And plenty of Lower Richland high schoolers, they had that exact feeling today. The first couple of weeks back, they also include a long checklist that typically includes finding the right club, which is why biology teacher David Can is encouraging students to grab a shovel and dig in. Teacher David Can wants students to appreciate what maybe.
We have our rain collection barrels right here, and normally we just turn this spigot right here and we collect rainwater to water what we plant in these 3 beds right here.
At Lower Richland High School, International Baccalaureate biology teacher David Can wants students to appreciate what may be hiding in their own backyards.
Being able to identify what they see in literally their backyard. I teach students how to identify snake species they see on the road, or how to identify poison ivy from Virginia creeper.
His love for the great outdoors sparking the Diamond Hornet Conservation Club. 2026 marks 4 years of hands-on projects, and he admits you'll get messy.
It is. It is definitely for most of them the first time making a garden bed out of cinder blocks. And to be honest, it was my first time too. For seniors that do join the club and meet certain requirements, they do receive a green cord to wear at graduation.
More often than not, students will be leaving the classroom and entering the greenhouse.
Most of the time we start the plants off in the classroom, and then once it gets into the colder months, we transition them to here.
A love for our environment rooted in education, like this outdoor mural.
You can see to the left the 3 rivers that converge to form the Kawasi Basin, the Congaree, the Wateree, and the Santee.
As students envision this semester, Can hopes cell phones are pushed aside.
Being outside and gardening and enjoying nature, they have mental benefits. They help you stay grounded, and they help you just be in the moment instead of just constantly distracted by blue light.
New planned developments near exit 125 in Sandy Run is sparking conversation about growth in Calhoun County. The rezoning request could bring a mix of commercial, industrial, and residential developments all to that area.
Right now, though, News 19's Ariana Clay is busy speaking with neighbors about this proposal.
From here, you can see just how much open space surrounds exit 125 in Sandy Run, but what you can't see just yet is the debate happening behind the scenes over what could eventually be built right here.
Calhoun County Administrator Richard Hall says the property is split into 3 zoning categories.
They're wanting to expand the industrial and the commercial and push the residential off to one side, and so the proposed use would be to have commercial along the road frontage, and then industrial back behind the commercial, and then to the right of it, kind of in between the interstate and moving further away from the interstate and the housing, then there would be some residential single-family housing.
The development could bring possible gas stations, hotels, or restaurants to the area, along with single-family homes. But some people who live nearby say they like the quiet.
Well, I moved out here after I retired to be in the country, and so I'm not real thrilled on overdevelopment down here.
District 3 Council member Rebecca Bonnet says resident feedback has been mixed.
I'm not against housing on the property. However, any residential development should consist of larger parcels that match the size and character of the surrounding neighborhoods.
This area is at an interstate exit at exit 125. It's been identified in the comprehensive plan that the county did and adopted as an area for these type of uses.
More people, more money.
The proposal is still being revised and no final decision has been made just yet. In Calhoun County, Ariana Clay for News 19 WLTX.
And the rezoning request is expected to go before the Calhoun County Planning Commission on August 27th at Council Chambers. Chevy.
Still tracking some showers and a couple of thunderstorms, but we have definitely dissipated quite a bit of these showers. But we still have some. All the details, your complete forecast, coming up at 6.